Yeah, feed your head, kids. That's what you got to do if you want to be like the Jefferson Airplane of San Francisco, California. Hey, it's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I'm Ron Bennington. Yo. That got brought up last night.
It did.
It's an odd thing to do, I believe. I guess we're not allowed to promote what we did last night. We wait until Wednesday?
I wait till Wednesday, yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm going to do then. I'm going to wait. You know what? I like to be a rule follower. How's that?
I want to play by the rules.
You know what? I went through a program and I want to stick to it. That's the way to sobriety. 2 days at a time. That's the way I work. Every 48 hours.
2 days?
Mm-hmm. Too much pressure to do it every day. I like to be straight every other day. One day for them, 1 day for me. 1 day for them, 1 day for me.
I guess that's a start.
You remember what the Dormouse said, Gail?
Yeah, I do.
One of the great endings to any song, don't you think?
Yeah, it gets so intense.
That song has trouble fitting into any format, though. You know what I mean? Like that song was as big as anything when it came out, as far as album-oriented rock goes. But I don't hear it much anymore because it's a little dated. It
is dated. Yeah. However, it did make a debut on Big Little Lies.
Big Little Lies, and that was the little show that could, I believe. It was a little train that just kept going up the tracks.
Not many people had heard about it. A couple of unknowns.
Yeah, a couple of young gals that just wanted to get out there and try to do something for themselves with a pussy hat on. What did they do? They turned the goddamn world on its ass. You know what I mean? They literally saw an entire planet shit itself.
That's what you want to do with a show.
That's what you want to do with any kind of entertainment. You know, right before I got on stage, I go, come on, kids, let's make them shit themselves. That's my motto.
In a good way?
There's no bad way to shit yourself. There are only good ways. Vito, I saw you got pushed back behind the glass after having a wonderful day in the sun yesterday.
Yeah, I think there was too much dude scene talk for Chris. Okay.
So, you know what? Chris is the guy. He's sitting here, he's measuring, what the content is. He's a baker.
After the show yesterday, Chris could not drop it. He was like, that was really weird. Like, he just thought it was so bizarre, Vito's fluidity.
Well, what was weird was Chris hitting the mic just to hear himself giggle, even though he wasn't in the thing. When I remember, used to make fun of someone who did that.
Really?
You don't remember that? 57th Street. That was, you came in and told us that story. Now, Vito, did you get your picture taken with the Stormtroopers today?
I did, and there were strict rules about it.
What's that?
I asked
Nazi signs?
I asked if they could hold the guns up to my head and take me like a prisoner, and they said, no, we're not allowed to point the guns at the people whatsoever.
It's ridiculous.
Shitty Stormtroopers.
What do we try to act like we're good people now, the Stormtroopers?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
You don't want to seem like you're with them.
When I came into the lobby and I saw them there, I'm just like, uh-oh, Trump years have finally, you know what I mean? They're sending stormtroopers to every office in America.
I knew it.
God damn it. It was right there all along. All the signs. All right, it's the Bennington Show on, I'm going to guess today's a Tuesday. 2 for Tuesday.
You're correct.
Mm-hmm. Doing all Tuesdays, we call it here on the old show. There's a lot of talk about breaking up the Phils. Let's just see what happens. But is the chance to run this thing 162-0? Yeah, mathematically. Mathematically, there is a chance that this is the undefeated season. We take over where those fucking stupid idiot girls from Connecticut drop the ball.
I hear that they're just 2 players away from having a great team.
2 players away, and this whole thing turns around. That's it.
It's exciting.
The 2 players, and I'm going to announce them right now where the problems are.
So hurtful.
Wouldn't that be something? If we are able to trade Bennington, this thing could turn into something.
Can you just turn off the TV? I don't want to think about work right now.
Trade me where? Montreal doesn't even have a team. Isn't that, it's like, that's the funniest thing. And baseball still, unlike the other sports, still just makes trades out of nowhere, where you're just like, tell your family you're moving to San Diego.
What? My kids are in school.
I don't even know those guys. Do they want me? Do they even want me there?
That's going to be the worst, because then you show up and then everyone's like, we don't even want you on this stinking team.
We had a great team until they made the trade for you. We're looking over your stats. You can't even hit. What is your problem?
I'm trying the best I can.
I'm out there trying to make a difference, guys. Trying to get the ball in play. I mean, that's the important thing.
I
right?
always want us to win.
I'm just too nervous to steal bases. I don't want to run down there in case they get me. I'll always act like I'm stealing their run back to first. Vito, you're a baseball fan, right?
Yes.
Even though you're not wearing your Mets jersey today.
Oh, today's an off day.
Don't fall too far behind those Phils. Fighting Phils. You're in trouble if you do. But the average age of a baseball fan is 56 years old right now.
That's actually the age?
Yes. It was in the paper yesterday. 56 years old is the average age. Most baseball fans run a lot older, but there's a couple of kids who go with grandpa to the games. And they're bringing it down a little bit. But there's nothing, I laugh every time they act like they want to make a change to the game because this isn't that kind of game that you can make changes. It's just, it is what it is, and it's either to be enjoyed or walked away from. That's the way I see it.
There are plenty of sports that don't, suit people.
Yeah, start following skee ball. That's a lot of fucking fun.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Oh, it's a boardwalk classic.
And once you bet on it.
What, you're betting on skee ball? I'm just like, just play it safe and go for one of the wide circles.
Gotta take the shot, though.
Did you play any ball?
No, the only sport I played was, I did football for a few years. I wrestled very briefly.
I would have loved to see you wrestle.
I did shot put for 3 weeks.
How were you at that?
I quit for a really pathetic reason.
The ball was too heavy?
No, it was they wanted us to do box jumps, and I have a really big fear of heights.
What were you boxing up? 15 feet in the air?
No, it was so like the box they had set up was like a hollow in the middle, so if I missed it, my feet would clip it and I would fall over. And I was like, I'm not here for the track part, I'm just here for the field part. I don't see the purpose of. They also had me running like sprints and shit, and I was like, this isn't what I signed up for.
Well, yes, you have to get in shape to do your shot put. There's plenty of, look, no matter what sport it is, you're like, hey, we're doing something that doesn't seem like it has to do with the sport. But we were pulling up your strength and stamina.
I didn't understand that part. I thought
you don't need to understand, son. You just need to do it, okay? Now, I need to count on you. I need you to give me 100%, or at least, let's say 60%. If you gave me 60%, I could get you a Letterman's jacket.
No, coach. I'd rather just take it easy, not run, and just do the lineman stuff.
Son, years from now, when you're an old man with your grandchildren, you're going to be looking back at the shot put as the greatest point of your whole life. You're going to know, I threw a putt. All right? I put the shot into that putt. It must have went like 8 yards. It's really fucking funny if you've ever picked up, like when you watch a shot put, you're like, how's that a sport? All you got to do is pick up that thing and you're like, oh, I can't throw this too far. It's very heavy. What's the furthest you throw it?
In practice, I think I got up to like 18.
18 feet?
18 feet?
Yeah. That's practically nothing.
I don't remember.
I feel like that if you would have let me work with you, we could have went straight to the Olympics.
Oh, I think so too. This hand, it collapsed. It eclipsed the entire ball. Like I was palming that thing.
Yes, the 2 weeks that you dominated the sport before somebody came in with a box and asked you to move.
We understand that you had size on your side for sure.
Yeah.
There was Gail's little cousin there was a videotape of her and she was running and her mom like, go, and she runs like 8 feet and just stops and goes, I'm hot. And that's how I see Vito.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. The worst part of football practice was when they had everybody run together.
Oh, I used to love dogging it in practice.
It just sucks because, like, if you're going to make everybody run together, at least let the linemen lead the pace. Don't have, like, the wide receivers.
I don't care what you fucking want me to do. You're going to see a guy trying to act like he's having problems with his pads. And they take off his shirt. Just constantly, like, what the hell's going on with this? These pads are very fucking loose. Should we tighten them? Seems like I need tighter pads, coach. I'm going to go back inside in the air conditioner and try to figure this out. But I will be here at the game. Just hot dogging it up. What my favorite thing of football was always the pile on. Find out there was a pile, dive on the top of that pile.
You want to get right on the top. So
Oh, yeah. I don't want to be on the bottom of that pile. I can't breathe down there. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
The pile-ups give me anxiety when they're like pulling people off.
It's
And I'm
terrible.
just like, who's at the bottom of that?
Yeah, you know what they do? They grab nuts down there, too, under the pile.
Are you serious?
They grab nuts, they fish hook, and they try to put a thumb in your eye.
Well, that doesn't even seem like it serves any purpose other than a cruelty.
I used to keep a hat pin in my sock and just get in there and just fucking work around with a hat pin on people. Ow!
Someone's got a hat pin in here.
And then when the rep was like, what's going on? I go, I found this on the field. Look at that. It could put somebody's eye out. Look at the size of it. It's going to be like a 7-inch.
Jesus.
Who needs a hat pin? Why do we still have hat pins? Really, what is the actual use for a hat pin?
I think that it was kind of in the day of like the fascinator and the little hats that kind of like you would put on the side of your head that could, and then the pin would hold it in place.
It looks like it was just something to kill children with. Hey, G-Man's celebrating. He's got every right to. We talked to him yesterday. Hey, G.
I'm on it.
Well, congratulations to you. Life is good.
Fuck yeah, it is. Hey, Ron and B, I was hoping to send some national championship gear down there. Can you tell me, does Pepper still well at 7X?
How big is that? How big is that globe head of yours?
Size 8. It's a size 8 fitted hat. And if it's a snapback, it'll go to the last snap.
How about when people weren't even believing the size of your head, and I'm like, Big J, give your hat to Chris. People don't believe how big your head is.
No, and those hats were like yarmulkes on top of my dome. I mean, they have tiny heads.
I know, and Big J was even saying, no, this will fit you. I have a big head. And then it was just sitting right there. You needed a hat pin.
And Jay does have a big head, but it just didn't matter.
No.
It didn't matter at all. Well, congratulations, Jay. Life is good. All right? Yeah, that's it. Style and profiling the rest of your life now. You'll never have another bad day. Every day of your life is going to be good right now.
That's the great thing about when good things happen.
Sure, because some, underage kids went and won a basketball game. Why not you spend the rest of your life happy? Now we move on to the next sport. What's the next big championship we have?
NBA Finals.
Really? So Stanley Cup doesn't
Yeah, I
count
was going to
anymore?
say,
Are
isn't
they not
hockey?
the same exact? I thought they were the same time.
Oh, you think they're the same sport right now? You think people are playing basketball on ice?
I just
Come
know,
on,
like,
Vito. Come on, Vito.
Get
This
together.
ain't fucking high school shot put and wrestling and any of your other failed endeavors. So you had no one in your family to say you can't quit, right? You were just there like, Vito, we went and got you all that gear and then you quit again.
No, football. It was really like, don't quit this. But wrestling, the coach like told me I was coming in to get like weighed in and certified, and I had only been to one practice where they hadn't taught me any moves, and then he just went, "Oh, you got a match out there." And I was like, I don't know any of the rules of the sport.
You don't have to worry about that. You just get out there and wrestle.
You make it up.
Rest hold.
Pistol whip.
Rest hold as much as you can.
Well, no, you can't do rest holds in amateur wrestling.
You
Yeah,
can't?
Sure you can.
Believe you can. I don't think you
never
can do
learned
a
the,
sleeper move.
All you need to do is get out there and attempt to try to tie.
Sharpshooter.
So
Were you in the match?
I was in the match, and I remember just something at the end where I was like, I'm tired and I don't want to do this anymore, and I took a dive, and then my whole team started yelling at me because I didn't know I somehow had gotten a point earlier in the match. So I took a dive and then I tied it, and then I had to take another tie in whatever wrestling overtime is.
You're a guy who you follow fake wrestling constantly.
Oh yeah, I was selling moves out there.
But why?
Take a bump.
He did a frog splash.
I jobbed out. I jobbed out to my opponent that night.
What are you doing counting the lights? Son?
It was time for his push.
It's just not true.
It's too soon for that guy.
No, I like that was Mania, and I was getting ready for SummerSlam.
Did you want a gimmick?
Yeah, I wanted to come out in like a leather jacket, sunglasses, maybe tape the fingers.
They'll tell you every fucking high school match, red turns to green. You want to make a little money, you're going to have to open up that fucking forehead.
Well, I'll do hard
By
one.
the way, WrestleMania is still on. It's still happening.
Did you end up watching Raw last night?
Yeah, of course I watched Raw
Is
last
Raw
night.
war?
Raw
we know?
is war.
Raw is war. And Tuesday Night SmackDown.
People are asking if we can get pictures of Chris's head next to Vito's feet.
That's doable.
Shoes off or on?
Off, please.
Man, there's something about the gayness of yesterday's show that took place between Vito and Chris and the fluidity of both of those guys.
Yeah.
And it was said that I'm more gay than Vito, apparently.
Who said that?
I believe,
or your boyfriend?
I believe I was 62% gay to Vito's, 44?
Oh, I didn't know we scientifically lined that up. I forgot all about that yesterday. Well, congratulations to you both.
Thank you very much.
Here's an odd thing. The video up on the iBank today of the girls butt chugging Mountain Dew. What I don't get about it is, like, I get if somebody wants to get high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like using vodka or whatever. But why do this just to have Mountain Dew in your ass?
It's so confusing. Now, I don't like to admit this, but I was present once while somebody butt funneled wine when I was in college. And
guy or girl?
It was a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I did help hold the hose and funnel while someone poured it in.
That's really disgusting.
So,
now, were you whacked out yourself?
Will I what?
Were you all fucked up yourself?
No, I believe we were. We had purchased said wine for this experiment.
Something you saw online?
Yeah, so we thought, we had read that it was possible to get drunk from butt funneling wine. And
by the way, it's also possible to get drunk just by drinking wine.
Sure. But this particular gentleman was interested in the experiment, so I did. I offered to hold the funnel and the hose while someone else poured the wine into the funnel.
It seems wine would be the booze you wouldn't want to put into your asshole because of the acidity.
I'm sorry, there are other alcohols you wouldn't put into your asshole, Chris?
He's just what? Pure grain? I mean, come on.
Seems like it would hurt less.
But what is the fucking point of doing Mountain Dew?
There's got to be no point.
So Connor just told me people did it in his college, and he has a reason why.
Well, bring him in instead of fucking yelling it from there. Connor, go ahead.
So I received a Snapchat about a month ago of this occurring, and it's the sheer amount of sugar in Mountain Dew goes to your blood quicker if it goes in your ass. So it's like a head-high sugar rush. So that's what they're doing.
That's what drinking Mountain Dew is also.
Yeah, but isn't that enough of a sugar?
It's like so much, it's like so quick, so fast, it's like that much of a head high. But it does seem like a lot of work for what you're getting.
But I'm just surprised at the quantity that she's... she seems to get a lot in.
This is not an amateur ass. This is a big professional ass. And these are some hard-ass bitches.
Oh, God.
And the girl holding...
look at the size of that. Talk about a wrestling ass.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like there's fat and muscle both to that ass. And the comfortability of the blonde girl holding the...
Baba.
And then squeezing the Mountain Dew into her ass.
And then she's just wearing weird rabbit ears while she's doing this.
And she has an expression on her face that kind of looks like, this is not the weirdest thing I've done.
No.
Like, she's very comfortable with what she's doing. I'm also surprised how quick that girl got up. Got upside down, flipped. Yeah. She, it was very skillful.
She's done this before, I feel.
They're like circus folk.
And I like the costume element of this. So she was like, for this video, I'm going to put my bunny ears on. I think it'll just be really cute while I pump this Mountain Dew into my best friend's butt.
How doesn't it cause an enema?
Why doesn't it cause one?
Like when you get water shot up your ass, isn't that how you get an enema? And they push.
What are you talking about, son? What do you mean you don't cause an enema?
I mean how you perform an enema.
What about it?
Isn't it shooting water up the butt? So
yes.
Shouldn't there be shit?
No.
Shooting out?
Well, that will come out. I mean, it's not going to stay up there for, she's going to hold it in there while she gets her sugar high. And then eventually, I would hope, a good portion, hopefully most, if not all, comes out of her. But that's why she's upside down. She's holding it in there.
I had the wrong idea of an enema. I thought immediately everything came rushing out.
Just a blast?
I thought that's how it worked.
So what you immediately want to know is, will this flush her shit?
That's what I thought would happen.
He just thought a fountain of shit was just going to come shooting out after
You're
this.
like talking to a 4-year-old.
I mean, it's almost like you didn't go to college.
Barely did.
Well, he went to film school where he told us the name of his school was chock full of nuts. He was trying to hold court last night, explaining to everybody that a chock full of nuts used to be right where we were standing.
Someone was very suspicious of this.
Oh,
he
God.
was looking at Vito like, yeah, but what year is this? Like, he was not buying that.
Someone wouldn't drop it.
He's cynical.
He is.
He's very cynical. He wasn't following. He thought that Vito was just trying to get a cheap pop with his chock full of nuts talk.
I would never just randomly bring up chock full of nuts. He brought it up like 10 minutes later.
He's like, interesting, because I lived on this street.
And everything you're saying is another fucking lie.
Bullshit fun fact.
It was a chock full of nuts.
That fucking school that you went to, what was the name of it?
School of Visual Arts.
Seems like something for blind kids.
Did you say Ghoul of Visual Arts?
Wait, you're making fun of how people talk?
I gotta take my shots, Rock.
And I also didn't say that.
I heard it.
Looks like you're getting pwned, Chris. You better start and defend yourself.
I'm not getting pwned nor wrecked.
There's a guy I don't trust. I don't trust the guy who slicks his hair back like that, wears shades on the side. I feel like he's just a bad agent.
That just sounds suspicious.
Yeah, it seems like he's trading me to San Diego.
Move your whole family.
Remember what the dormouse said. Anyway, if you want to see a girl with a bottle of Mountain Dew up her ass, head on over to the iBang.
You should.
By the way, since we had the Stormtroopers in today, there's a thing up on the iBang that is an old school thing when Carl Sagan went on the Tonight Show. Excuse me. And he called Star Wars racist, chauvinistic, and unscientific. He is right. It is unscientific.
100%.
You know, guys using the Force has got to drive Carl Sagan crazy.
And the racism is undeniable.
Well, what about Cloud City?
What happens is that with the black guy?
Yeah, it's a black neighborhood.
Yeah.
They live in the clouds. And then the one black guy you couldn't trust at all.
Yeah, but what about the guy who's just like, he's like, like he's clearly like an Asian character?
That was late. That was very late. That was 90s.
Right.
Sagan was already long dead before that racism started. Vito, you're a Star Wars guy, right?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite black guy in the history of Star Wars?
I mean, it's got to be Lando Calrissian.
No way. Chewbacca.
I have not known.
Black.
Yeah.
They never bring that up.
That's what he represents.
Right. Okay. That might be why he thinks it's racist.
Chewbacca is a way of the Wookiee, all right, i.e. society.
And his Festival of Lights.
Right. Festival of Lights. What else is a Festival of Lights every year?
Hanukkah.
Mm-mm. The other one.
Christmas.
No, the third, the one no one practices.
Kwanzaa.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
Chris, by the way,
Yes.
zero help during this whole thing. You seem like a kid that's sleeping in class. And stop wearing your dad's shirt.
It's a good shirt. This one's I think, better than the other dad's shirts.
There's a
No.
reason you haven't been dating a lot lately, and it's because of your outfits. You know what? He buys shirts that can't be ironed. I don't even know how that's possible. An iron will not work on his shirts.
This is perma wrinkle, right?
What is that material?
A lot of people surprised that you didn't go with Sam Jackson.
I'm not a big Mace Windu guy.
What's his whole name?
Mace Windu.
Okay.
Classics.
Yeah, he was the best.
Are there, other than those two, are there any other black characters?
There's a black stormtrooper in a new one.
Oh, right. But I'm talking about old school.
Oh, no.
I like the fact you don't even know his name. You just call him the black fucking stormtrooper like a racist.
I think doesn't he prove himself? I mean, he's like a stormtrooper for like 5 minutes.
Well, this is weird. I was just watching this on TV. We've got all the news channels up. Trump has announced today that he has a goiter that he is going to lance himself.
Oh, my God.
That
on
shocks me.
Facebook Live.
That shocks me. And I'll tell you what, no president's ever done that before. And he's going to say because he couldn't get the health care pass that he wanted to, he now has to lance his own goiter.
You know, I appreciate him keeping the public in on everything, but that might be going too far.
I don't think so. I think we need to know. We need to know.
I just wish he wasn't doing it himself.
I like it. I like that. He's taking it in his own hands.
Thanks, Chris. I'm glad we got you behind us. Vito, I've been working some strings. As you know, I've got a lot of contacts in the Philadelphia area. And I'm going to get you training at Foxcatcher with John DuPont.
I don't know. It doesn't look like things end really well for people out there.
No, you'll do great.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really feel good about this.
Now, be careful of that Stairmaster. It makes you go backwards in time.
I'm really more worried about the coach over there.
Steve Carell with his fucking grasp at an Oscar. Every chance he got to go after an Oscar with that. Do you like it here at Foxcatcher? And then who was the other guy who was in it with him?
Channing Tatum and
This is
Mark
Channing
Ruffalo.
Tatum. Yes, Foxcatcher's fine for you.
The interesting is, I've known the DuPont name my whole life.
Mhm.
References to the DuPont. When the movie came out, and I was like, I actually don't know if this is a good DuPont impression.
It seemed like it was. To me.
I was just like, I guess I'm just going to have to take his word for it.
When we were kids, the big rumor was that the DuPonts marry their sisters and cousins so that they can keep the money in the family. And then there would always be like some fucking building with a wall around it. And we're like, that's where the DuPonts keep their retards because they want their money so much. And and by the way, I use that word because that was a word that was commonly used in those days.
Mm-hmm.
These days, no longer acceptable.
They were Nike?
Yeah, they were straight Nike because they didn't want to share money. Now, the fact is, not only children spread those rumors. I heard it from adults as well as high school teachers. Now, you know the DuPonts, they intermarry so they don't have to share the money. That's how greedy they are.
Is this part of the lesson?
First of all, this is geometry. I don't know why you're going on about the DuPonts. And they're spedding out every chance they get. But anyway, you're going to Foxcatcher.
I'm really, now you bring up this other thing, and I was already worried about the murder issue.
Stop being a baby, all right? It's time for you to stop quitting, all right?
I didn't even start yet. How could I quit if I didn't start?
You quit everything you've ever done.
You can't
Why don't
quit
you fucking
Foxcatcher.
quit radio? That would be the great thing. You quit your relationship.
I didn't quit that. I was fired.
And the reason was you were too childish?
I guess. That was probably a good part of it.
Yeah.
Just started working a lot.
I'm always interested when you ask Chris or Vito why their significant other broke up with them, and they seem to have no clue. Like, they're like, I don't know, something I did. And you're like, you know, these women were screaming the reasons at them nonstop. And both of them were like, I don't know. I was like, I did something, but.
Drunken selfishness.
Chris also acted like he never had a problem in his life. It was a perfect relationship until, the 7 months that he lied to us that he was still in it.
That was so strange.
All right. The announcement has just been made that Tony Romo has signed a new deal with CBS, and he is foregoing that opportunity to win a ring. Now, why would I want to watch a guy talk about football when you know he's got an opportunity to go to Denver and get the ring, and he doesn't want to take it?
Or even Houston. I mean, their defense is ridiculously good. I mean, there's a chance there.
Is it like health issues? Is that the reason that
The issue is this. A, he's injured if he ever looks at a football. But B, and everyone knew it for you, that guy lacked heart.
Yep, he's a loser. And now he's a loser on CBS.
But that part doesn't make sense.
No.
You don't know that.
When he comes up out of this fucking screen, just say loser, former Cowboy. I'm annoyed.
I tried to have a conversation. You saw I tried to have
know
a
you
conversation with him.
I know you did.
I think it's more messed up that they might fire Phil Simms.
Good.
Fuck, talk about a loser.
I love that guy.
You're
He
the
can't walk into the sun. There's no way that he can go out in the sunshine. His body starts to fry up like a pizza. everything to him is a coal oven wherever he goes.
He's done a good job the past few years, though.
No, he
Not
hasn't.
one person besides you say that they're a Phil Simms fan. Not one.
I just feel bad for anybody who loses their job.
I think Sims is going to be okay. I have a fucking feeling.
So now you prefer Romo, it sounds like, Chris.
He does.
No.
He's got you, Chris.
He did make a
backed
good
you into
point.
something.
Do you love him then?
I guess I love that loser in the booth.
Seriously, do you?
No, I don't fucking.
Then why you turn on Sims? Why can't you just make this about Romo?
Right, just
Big.
Vito brought up Sims. Sims sucks. That's all I have to say about Sims. Romo is a fucking loser. This is
my
ridiculous.
God, you got to be able to explain yourself. You can't just say the same word over and over.
He couldn't win in Dallas. And then he just
What
gives
is
up.
the slow talking about? Look, he goes like this.
He couldn't win
In Dallas. Look at Dallas, right? What is that about, Chris?
What does
That-
Dallas represent
You know what?
to you?
If you're going to have a dad shirt, start talking like a dad.
He'll probably get injured in the booth. Break his clavicle in 4 places.
So you're saying that he does get injured too much.
You hate him
Okay.
because of his injuries.
Do, do, do. I don't know what all this comedy news is. Some of it I don't even understand. I'm going to be totally honest. You want us to read some of these live reads, Chris?
Yeah, we can do a live read.
Good. Nice and slow.
Thank you.
I'm going to do it like Chris.
Okay.
Fantasy sports fans, did you hear the news? FanDuel just launched fantasy golf. If you love golf and you love winning cash prizes playing on FanDuel, you've got to try fantasy golf. It's easy. Pick 8 golfers for your team, stay under the salary cap, and score points for eagles, birdies, pars, and more.
Lots of contests to choose from, starting at just $1. Watch your score live and win cash prizes. Don't miss this Thursday's $750,000 Golden Eagle Golf Tournament with $100,000 to first place. Only $4 to enter. Hurry up and submit your lineup before tee-off this Thursday morning.
Excuse me. Excited about baseball? The season is here, which means daily fantasy baseball is back on FanDuel. Over 2.5 million players have won a cash prize playing on FanDuel. Try fantasy golf. Try fantasy baseball. Try both. To get you started, new users will get FanDuel's Combo 5-Pack valued at up to $50.
That's 5 free entries to a combination of 50-50 beginner contests. Just finish in the top half and win cash. To get your 5 free entries, go to FanDuel.com, click the Join Now button, and enter promo code Bennington. That's FanDuel.com, promo code Bennington, void where prohibited.
Boom. That's simple. Chris, are we ready to announce the first Unmasked at the Moon Tower?
I believe so. Yes, we are.
You believe so, though. You believe so, yes,
Are we ready?
Yes, we are.
Oh.
We got it all up at the iBang and everything's ready to go?
I'm going to double check with the iBang.
So we went from yes, we are. All right, I'll just do it. Unmasked at the Moon Tower, Friday, April 21st at 6 p.m. at the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas, part of the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. From Impractical Jokers, it's Unmasked with Sal Vulcano.
Yeah! Go to theinterrobang.com for a chance at free tickets. I am so excited for this Unmasked. Sal is, first of all, when we met Sal right away, I adored him. He's so much fun. We've had a blast doing Comedy 101 with him. This is going to be great.
Well, Sal Vulcano from Impractical Jokers, Friday, April 21st, 6 p.m. at the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas, part of the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. Go to the ibang.com to get tickets. This is like one of the hottest shows, not just in America, in the world.
Yes, which is why hurry up and get your tickets now, because Sal Vulcano's got some fans out there.
Well, yeah, the Impractical Jokers fans are insane.
They are obsessed. Like, he has such a huge, rabid fan base.
Well, here's what happens, because sometimes, and by the way, Sal is, I don't, we always say that people work hard. Sal's constantly touring, constantly shooting his show, and fitting in sets around the city every chance that he gets. And I mean, even knowing his schedule, he'll do 4 or 5 sets in the city, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll just be talking to him on the street, and somebody will just come walking up and be like this, fucking Sal! And I'm like, holy shit, I forgot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you think he's just a regular guy, and you're sitting there talking about something, and somebody sees him and acts like they saw the fucking Easter Bunny.
Yeah, and that show is so popular, and like all the exciting people we've ever met through this show. I was visiting my boyfriend's family, and his mother and his uncle were freaking out, like, you know the Impractical Joker? Like, they were so
They
excited.
call him the Impractical Joker. Yeah, people get crazy about it.
So this is Friday, April 21st at 6 p.m. at the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas, part of the Moon Tower Festival. Unmasked with Sal Vulcano. Go to theinterrobang.com for free tickets.
Really looking forward to this
Me too.
Gig in Austin. I feel like we've got our nighttime meals put together, but I'm concerned about breakfast. I really want to have some, fantastic breakfast in Austin.
I heard that the amount of great places to get like really fantastic breakfast tacos. So I'm getting some recommendations from a friend.
Let me tell you something about a breakfast taco. I don't need to eat that just at breakfast. I can do it at lunch and I can do it at nighttime. I'm always ready for a breakfast taco. But you don't have a name right now, right?
No, because I also know that a lot of it is, and I know you don't love the thought of this, but a lot of them are food truck related.
Oh, please stop attacking me with the food truck thing. I measure food trucks by the trucks that surround this fucking building.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it can't be done across the country.
And I think they are
I'm
known
not
for it.
saying, and I know that these Austin places keep the truck in the same location, making it somewhat of a mobile restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing of, Ron hates food trucks. I dare you to go outside and eat these fucking food trucks. They're right there. Go get a chicken cheese stick. I have. They're fucking nightmarish. Midtown is a fucking nightmare. And yet I'm stuck as being the anti-food truck person. You know who they blame the food truck thing on New York? On No Reservations.
Really?
Yeah, there's a chef. His name is No Reservation. He goes all around the world without reservations. I don't know how he fucking does it.
Wow.
He doesn't need them.
Mm-mm. He's supposed to open up his version of Italy too. Some kind of street food thing that's on a barge. Yeah, it's supposed to be massive.
Yeah, it's right next to Chelsea Piers. It's like a giant pier. The bottom level is supposed to be like a big beer.
When is it going to be done?
They keep pushing it back. They said, I think it was supposed to be this summer, but now I think it might be pushed back to next summer.
Just play the song Boys of Summer. Next time I ask you, just hit, look, all the answers are right here.
I'm really excited for that place, though. I like any type of beer garden.
He knows everything that's going on over at Chelsea Piers. I mean,
anything in the Chelsea area, I got
the two things that he understands: Chelsea Piers and Chelsea Handler. Don't fucking talk at length. Look at this. Trump's putting up pictures of his goiter.
It's huge.
Okay, that's too much.
Era of economic victory has begun, he said.
What?
Look at this fucking page. Look at the size of that page.
What the fuck?
It's good to see what Seth Meyers is going to be mocking tonight.
They have more props than any other administration I've
Looks
ever
like I'm
seen.
in Carrot Top as your fucking president.
Well, I explained that giant graph really quickly.
Ivanka was out today, too. Ivanka was like this. It's very important that we do something for the children. The children are so important. Everything we do right now.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry. What do we need to do?
Yes, I was saying, I was talking to my dad about this. And he likes children, too. And I have children. And each one of the children will be getting health care. A lot of health care. And the moms never even have to come back to work.
What? Are you
the
sure?
moms stay at home forever and make milk.
This can't be part of this healthcare plan.
Yes, it is. It's part of the healthcare plan. I was talking to my brother about it. He had just shot a zebra. And he's like, is there someone to take care of this zebra? I'm like, but you're the one who shot it. So be quiet about that. And my dad is Donald Trump from the Trump hotels. Hey, what's up, John?
Hey, what's going on, man? First off, really psyched about that Sol Vulcano unmasked. But yesterday you guys were talking about, excuse me, Ancestry.com, and 2 days ago I got my results back from that company, and I found out that I'm related to a very important person who helped shape American music, and I'd like to share that story real quick if I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it turns out related to Doc Boggs. I went to Ancestry.com because my life started in an orphanage, but I've been binge watching documentaries about this guy, and apparently his banjo playing, songwriting, and singing influenced the Seeger family to Dylan to the Stanley Brothers, and also opened up for Howlin' Wolf in Newport Folk Festival in 1966, and couldn't praise more about that, and you'll never know what you'll find, you know?
Yeah, I don't know why you're taking so much pride in it. You have nothing to do with Doc and his work.
Well, no, I totally understand, but the weird thing is, for the past 2 decades, I've been playing, teaching, and building banjos and guitars, and none of my family that adopted me have any interest in music or Appalachia music or folk music. And I just kind of gave me a new outlook on nature versus nurture, you know?
So you think because this guy achieved something and you made a ukulele once, that it's somehow in your DNA?
It's banjo blood.
Yeah, you got banjo blood.
I think I got banjo blood, buddy.
All right, well, take care of that. You know? All right, you got to keep that kid quiet. Too. Oh, my God. Oh, jeez. All right, well, congratulations to you, and I'm going to call you Doc from this point on. All right?
Oh, thank you so much, sir.
Talk to you later.
I like Doc.
My cousin told me that he has an app, right? He said he checked through the app. He's not related to anybody. He goes, but you are related to everybody, whether they're a writer. And I go, who? Name one. He goes like this, Brad Pitt.
What?
Holy
We're
shit.
related to Brad Pitt?
Apparently, according to my cousin's app.
I hope he's willing to do this DuPont style.
Well, first of all, that means that Sandra Bullock is our brand new cousin. Brad, yeah, Ron Bennington. I just got off of Ancestry.com, and it looks like you and I share a fortune.
I'm going to need a couple bucks from you, buddy.
Do me a favor, get a hold of the whole Ocean's 11 crew and tell them we're doing 14. Vito, what's your favorite of all the Ocean's movies?
Probably the original Ocean's 11.
Mine is all the beautiful shots in Europe in Ocean's 12. Don't understand the plot whatsoever, but I could sit and look at that.
You know, the strange thing is, I loved Ocean's 11. I've never seen another. I never saw 12 or 13.
Is 12 the one where they're in the prison the entire time?
They're not in the prison the entire time. They're in Europe. If you consider Europe a prison, then yeah, I guess it is.
There's one where they're like in a jail cell. Like they keep getting added to a jail cell.
At the end of the movie, Vito.
Oh, I felt like
not the entire time. It seems like you just watched the last 10 minutes.
Maybe because looking back, I thought they spent the entire movie in a jail cell.
Yeah, that's why you're not a reviewer for anything. Okay? This is why your girlfriend doesn't want to be with you anymore. That's why she's making love with strangers right now as we speak. Strangers, plural.
Very happy for her.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
That's big of you.
Is your chick in a relationship now with one of your old buddies?
I have no idea.
I bet she is. I bet she did the same thing she did before. She moved on to somebody in your own crew.
Possibly. I don't know. I have no contact with her.
No contact, huh?
No contact. None.
Why?
None whatsoever. Didn't end well, and I don't think she wants to talk to me, and I don't want to talk to her. It's better if we never see or speak to each other ever again.
Would you be willing to give it a try, though?
No.
Like, what if you heard from her today?
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, I feel like a lot of stuff got said.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to get dinner with me tonight?
What if I said this?
Yeah.
If you guys sit down live on the air,
Yeah.
and if it works out, Don will send the two of you on a world cruise where you... If you guys can come to an agreement at the end of this hour, and I will be standing there with world cruise tickets.
World cruise.
Are you fucking serious?
You'll hit every single continent on this cruise.
Can we get separate cabins?
No.
No, you're back together after the hour. And then straight onto the cruise.
Yeah, if we were to get back together at the end of the hour, we would break up by the fucking first leg of the world
You
cruise.
act like you only broke up once, dude. You didn't fight all these years.
Well, there was always anger at me drinking, sure. But then if
Why didn't you stop drinking then?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You stopped drinking once you broke up with her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You were able.
So do you see how little sense you make?
That actually would infuriate me if I were her.
Yeah, I hope she didn't find out about that.
Why? I thought you didn't care about her anymore. And now you don't want her to be in a bad mad at you.
Looks like somebody's ready for a world cruise.
No fucking world cruise. No sit down. I don't want to talk to her ever again.
I like the theatricality of you standing there with the two tickets.
Thank you.
Keep remembering that this is the prize. A world cruise.
Hopefully there's no
A lot of people
neurovirus.
wrote to me there's no place to get breakfast anywhere in Austin.
Oh my God, why? It's a weird town.
Then why am I hearing so much of these breakfast tacos?
Sounds like they're lies, Gail.
They're not. I'm a very trustworthy person.
Also, was the thing that said Trump just held up a list of Chris's bits that failed, i.e., 24 hours of Buffett,
That's coming.
Trump cuck, you name it.
Buffet of Buffett is coming. I haven't abandoned that.
You haven't what?
Abandoned that.
Oh.
The fact that it's not happening on any schedule, and Vito's already going to be at Foxcatcher for 2 months.
Oh, that fucks my plans up.
You're going to be at Foxcatcher or Foxcatcher, as you call it, Vito?
I just don't want to die out there.
Stop being a baby about everything. Why don't you try to see the upside in a few things?
But that's a pretty big downside.
One guy got fucking killed. One.
Yeah.
The other people went on to become champions of the world.
I think Kurt Angle worked out there.
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what he got? He got the gold. Then he went on to the WW. I believe at that time it was F.
And now he's
The World Wildlife Federation, and he fucking dominated. Send Jen in, would you?
There she goes. She's
Look
so
at her
fast.
running. She's such a fast runner.
She's very, very skilled. Hi, Jen.
Jen. Last night, everybody from the team came out to support us, but one.
I know. I'm sorry.
Jersey girl.
I know.
Is it because Jersey is such a problem?
Jersey is an issue.
Yeah.
You guys saw when we were coming back from the train. It's like 3 stops to.
Yeah, you got off in the middle of the darkness and there was nothing there. I tried to grab her hand before I go, not here. We're an engine country.
And I made her text me when she got in the car. Just
Who
so I know
picked you
you're
up?
safe.
Your mom?
My dad, they tricked me. My mom was calling. She was like, your dad's actually going to come get you. So I was a little scared when I got off the train.
Why
It was
were
a
you
last
scared?
minute. It was like a last minute decision that my dad was going to pick me up.
But why would that scare you?
Because
In case he said he was going to get divorced again?
Because when I got off the train, it was like really dark. Nobody was around.
Do you think your dad was going to jump you?
It was a possibility that ran through my mind.
The town that you act like is so small was Newark, right?
It was Woodbridge.
Oh, Woodbridge.
Yeah.
That's the home of Al Dukes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Al Dukes is a Woodbridge guy.
For some reason, I thought he was like upstate.
No,
New
he
York.
just seems upstate. Slow is the word we're looking for. But yeah, they call him the Wizard of Woodbridge.
That's a cool nickname.
That's where he does his inventions. He's been working on an antidote to excitement for years. So how far was that Woodbridge from to your house?
It's like 20 minutes.
Oh, jeez, I couldn't live like that. Couldn't live in Jersey.
It's not fun.
Mm-mm.
But it's a nice, quiet place.
Yeah, I know. Who wants that? If I lived in Jersey, I'd probably just break a glass and then cut my own throat with it. I'll use this jagged glass to kill myself. You were at Metro Park.
Yes.
That was the name of your exit.
Yeah.
Mm. So, and then every day you take a bus home.
Yep.
And you said you sleep on the bus?
Get a nice little snooze in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to get felled up on that bus.
Yeah.
You got to be careful.
She does her pre-bus ritual where she takes out her contacts, puts on her glasses. She's like, all right, guys, I'm going to go. She can nap on the bus.
Yeah. Usually I bring a scarf for a little cushion because, when you're laying your head on the window.
I like to be right on glass when I sleep. I like to put my face right up.
No, first.
No, if I'm taking a nap like that on the bus, I have to take my pants off and just relax. By the way, I heard Mr. David Letterman was here last night. And guess what station he was a guest on?
What station?
It's one that we enjoy as well.
Is it a talk station?
No, he hates talk. Anybody who talks around him gets a harsh look.
So it's music?
Music based, yes.
Is it First Wave?
No.
It's the First Wave?
No.
Outlaw Country?
It was Outlaw Country.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is he a big Outlaw Country fan?
No, he just went on there for no apparent reason. The funny thing is, like, you're seeing Dave now more than you did the entire time he did his show. You know?
Yeah, he was always a mystery. Like, that's somebody who's in New York, in the city every day. And I never heard people say, oh, I bumped into him at a restaurant. Or
He still keeps an apartment downtown, too.
He does?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard someone say I was at a restaurant or a bar or someplace.
Never heard of anybody saying, oh, I'm in New York. You sit down, David Letterman sits next to me. Regis, on the other hand, will help bust tables. Actually, the weird thing about Regis is he and D. Trump were best friends for many, many years. And once Trump started running, I never heard of Regis again.
Yeah, he did not come
I thought
out.
he would have been right in the middle of it, you know?
He's going to tell the booth. No, they'll tell me.
The booth is just looking at him. Booth, by the way, his name is Vito.
Vito. That's going to tell me.
When you say Booth, I think you're talking about John Wilkes.
Oh my God, he's here?
Because it's an hour away before he's doing anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the idea of this. Why is it so hard for Vito to understand?
I think the booth is texting.
I'm texting Chris. The dates got mixed up.
So it's not today?
Tomorrow.
Okay. We have anything on our schedule tomorrow, Chris?
Believe we do, but nothing we can't move.
Says who?
I think it says me. I think it's stuff we can move.
Well, I'm waiting.
Yeah, we can move that.
What are we moving?
I'm going to check with the person, and then I'm going to double check that we can move, but it should be fine.
Oh, God. how long it takes to fucking.
I just moved them up.
Yeah. Or out.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I would never do that. Why don't we break here, kids? Bennington. It's the Bennington Show. Looks like we got an unmask we're doing right now in a little place called Austin, Texas, Moon Tower.
At Moon Tower, Friday, April 21st, 6 p.m. at the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas. All part of the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. It's Unmasked with Sal Vulcano. So go to the interrobang.com for a chance at free tickets.
You know, I saw another great documentary last night on Netflix, and that's The Last Man on the Moon. It's really fucking fascinating.
Yeah, that's one I've had in my queue, as they say.
Really? Well, this guy, Gene Cernan, he was the last guy to walk on the moon, and he did something that's was kind of infamous at the time, and it seems like it's forgotten. Before he got back on the spacecraft, he put his initials, daughters, in the dust of the moon.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know who had done that. I love that story so much. That's so sweet.
And he had 3 different space missions. And I was actually thinking of you guys and how you missed that excitement by being too young. There was nothing in my lifetime as dramatic as people going to the moon.
Yeah, that has got to be like a huge marker in a lifetime of like where you were when it happened, the age that you were.
Anybody that was a kid then. And they were showing the old stuff, and there were Tang commercials. Mm-hmm. And I talked to you guys before with that we used to drink Tang. Just terrible, awful orange powder in water, thinking this is the future. And we're probably going to have to live on this. If you would have asked me in elementary school, where do you think you'll be living? I might have said Mars. You know what I mean? Like, we thought there's no fucking stopping us. And I don't know I don't know if there's a positive thing that you guys would have in your mass concentration that could, that comes anywhere close to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because I have those markers of like things that I remember where I was when they happened, but none of them were positive.
Yeah,
they were
always negative.
A negative story. Like for a very long time, I thought that the first thing I could remember was the Challenger explosion, but that makes no sense because I was so young. I can't imagine, but I have flashes of memory from it.
Dude, here's the weird thing about you. You have memory that is probably under 1 year. Like you bring up things that are really, really young.
It's weird. So I think that I remember that moment of watching that on the news, the reaction of my mom, and I feel like I remember that, and it could be true. But the one that it was like the first big news story that I know that I can remember, I know everyone was talking about and watching it on the news, was baby Jessica. Do you remember baby Jessica in the well? That I was not much older than her.
Yeah, any little kid would focus on that pretty hard. Do you remember the LA riots? That was a very big news thing. Do you remember OJ?
Yes. OJ, I can remember like very specifically different events throughout. Like I remember the breaking news of OJ. I was at a cousin's house who was babysitting us at the time when the news was breaking.
Who?
Holly. Holly was watching us, and I was there. And
Holly was very pro OJ too.
Yeah.
No,
she was. She was like, "There's no way he did this."
Everybody felt. A lot of people felt that way. Vito, what's a big news story that you can remember?
The first one for me would probably be 9/11.
What happened then? I know. I mean, it's familiar. I just don't remember the specifics of it.
Well, they took us all to a cafeteria.
Oh God! Now we're going to go through your thing again. You do this once a week, where you try to tell us that you're afraid of Saddam Hussein coming into your apartment.
Bin Laden.
Yeah, but you thought he was going to kick in the window.
I'm trying to tell you, a fucking man was on the moon. That means nothing to you.
Yeah, but how
On
were
the
you
moon.
then?
I was not. I was 9.
That's
10?
the first. That cannot be
I
the
was
first
11.
That's the
big
kind of-
news story that you
You
remember.
don't know how dumb he is, Gail.
I like all the ones I just mentioned. I was like under 4 years
The
old.
only one I remember OJ just because I was watching Barney and they put it on like PBS. They put the car chase, and I remember that was really weird. And all of our parents ran into the room and were like, "Why
Well,
are
that
you
was
watching
like
a
9
car
years
chase?"
before fucking 9/11.
But
Yeah.
I felt we were being like, "Yeah, I also remember OJ."
No, the basic premise is: do you poor bastards have anything close to a man landing on the moon?
No
Not only do I remember the man landing on the moon, I remember when we would just go around the moon, right? So, like before we landed on the moon, some of those guys would go around, and then that was the first time that I heard of like dark side of the moon, and we would be out of contact with the ship when it was on the dark side of the moon. Now, they were showing this footage. We have such fucking amazing footage from our NASA fucking missions, right? It's total darkness, right? When you're like, they can't see anything. And then in one instant, boom, it's total light. So it's total darkness to total light. Not like the sun is rising or any of that. Just total darkness, total light.
I think that I'm also thinking that your age, like kids are obsessive as it is. Like you probably couldn't think of anything but that.
Well, that's what I was also thinking. Like you guys had Buzz Lightyear. I had fucking Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when Buzz Aldrin came in that day, it was crazy to me. It would be like if you guys saw the Toy Story people come in here, except for my stuff was real. Not only was it real, but we thought we would all go to space, and the teachers would say, now, the stuff, when you guys go to space, it'll be much more comfortable. You know what I mean? It'll be more like a plane. We're like, okay. So we won't have to put those big packs on and shit. And they're like, no.
And we'll have it all figured out.
But this guy, they were showing a thing of, and it's, what's his name? Eugene, I think Sermon is his name. But he just left the capsule at one point, was just being fucking pulled around by this string out there. Like, they didn't even know what they were doing when they got out of the capsule. And they were like, his failures really helped us figure out how to plan for the next one. But they want him to go out and do some shit. You just see a guy just fucking flailing around in space. Ridiculous, Chris, or fucking heroic?
He's a hero.
No, it isn't about, he wasn't the hero. We were all the fucking heroes of this. How many people do you think walked on the moon?
7.
Vito.
12.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's like 8 maybe.
12. Vito was right again. Only 12 fucking people have walked on the moon. 12. And in fucking 40 years or whatever, jack and shit has happened.
Nothing good, that's for sure.
Nothing. Fucking taking a little thing up just as high enough to get a satellite up. That's nothing. The millennials have fucked up the goddamn space program.
We were just babies, though.
Trump wants to send a man to Mars.
Yeah,
he wants to do it during his term.
That's always one of the strange things, because I saw like that one of his like funding cuts would affect NASA, but then he also says
he wants both.
He wants
do more with less. That's what he tells people. So he's giving a part of his salary is going to national parks, and then he's also cutting $1.6 billion out of the national parks. And they're also going to put more outlet malls just all over the national park system.
That's nice.
Like there'll be a thing at Yosemite where you can also get, I think, sweatpants so fucking cheap. It's unbelievable.
Convenient.
You're going to love it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be some of the greatest sweatpants.
Chris, I want you to come up with one thing that's close to a man landing on the fucking moon. First of all, let me just ask you again.
All right.
Can you imagine the excitement level of a fucking person being on the moon? The excitement level you would feel as a kid?
It'd be a freak out.
Be a freak out, he says. That's his way of dealing. I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
I am having a conversation.
Well, what is your thing?
The internet. The invention of the internet.
You remember the day when the internet broke on the news?
Seriously, you're trying to come up with an answer rather than talk about your own life.
We're talking about a historical moment.
The moment I remember.
No. AOL is what you remember. You got mail. You said you
Breaking
went
news,
fucking
the internet
crazy.
exists.
Holy shit.
This just in. You're able to go. You'll be able to go around the information superhighway. Lollygaggy.
Stop the presses. We don't need it anymore. There's an internet.
There'll be news, shopping, and pornography. Say goodbye to Times Square and hello to personalized internet porn.
It's
Ass to mouth, mouth to ass, and ass to ass. Everything comes back to fucking pedophile stuff with you.
No, what the, I just
How
said
did
the
you
internet.
think that you sat in your house and saw the beginning of the internet? How did you even for a second? You know when the internet actually started? When we were going to the fucking moon.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
It was only used by me and 3 other guys then.
What'd you talk about?
And we were just porn pictures back and forth.
Mostly ass to mouth.
I can't believe he said the internet.
We're talking breaking news stories.
Jen, what was it for you? A Prada bag?
Hers was Trump's election. She's very young.
Oh, it was Obama becoming president.
That was a big day for people.
Yeah,
Not
I
as
remember
big as
like
Trump.
when I was watching it with my mom, and everybody was just crying hysterically. So I'm happy I was alive for that. In my
You think you were crying at your house? You should see my parents. They were openly sobbing. It happened! I warned you! Well, Chris wanted to bring up that he was there when they started the internet.
As a kid, I do remember the Gulf War happening and being freaked out and like really afraid, even though I didn't not understanding it's in another country and I wasn't going to get drafted. But I did ask my grandmother. I was like, "What's going to happen?"
It's scary when a war starts. A fucking little idiot like you.
Stupid little Chris Stanley.
Thinking he
Am
has to
I
get
in the war?
Do I need to have a bayonet? Seriously, Chris, stop bringing up bayonets no matter what's happening.
I have a thing for bayonets. And then the first World Trade Center bombing, I also remember. But I remember it because I was annoyed because it preempted cartoons after school because it happened like in the afternoon. And there was like nonstop coverage of it on TV. I was like, what's this? What's this? What's going on?
Hey, Ted, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
I was thinking hard about this for the positive thing, and the one I can come up with is the 92 Olympics, the Dream Team.
Well, I watched every single fucking game of that. You had to buy the extra package. And first of all, I like buying an extra package and knowing not everyone can get it. But there were people going, this is stupid. This, it's too much. And I'm going, it's not too much. It's just the right amount.
It's worth every penny.
Yeah. But yeah, I was so proud of our team then. So fucking proud. I mean, it just was ridiculous how much better we were at basketball than everyone else.
But it is interesting, like whatever that positive thing is, then the young people of that generation become obsessive over it. Like you said, astronauts, and then the generation before that was cowboy, which is really that Toy Story thing. It's like those first early iconic things. I don't know, like when I was a kid, the big trend was like dinosaurs, but I don't specifically know other than Jurassic Park why it was like everything dinosaur was
Little
geared
kids,
towards-
little babies love dinosaurs. It's one
Yeah.
of their favorite things. I remember when Lindbergh landed. Oh my God, how we went
do?
crazy. Yeah, we were doing the Charleston at the time, and a man came running into the room. Prohibition! And Lindbergh has landed.
Let me just say you look great for your age.
Well, I'm a vampire, which is helpful. Eric in Wyoming. Eric.
Hey, Bennington.
Yeah.
Hey, so for me, the first one that I remember, and this is kind of vaguely, but was the Iranian hostage crisis. When all that happened, because I remember family members who were of the age who thought they might be drafted, that we were going to war.
Well, it seemed like we would absolutely go to war.
Yeah.
And it was also the start of the late night TV show that ABC ended up doing. What's that show, that Nightline that comes on? there wasn't any late night news then, and we didn't have cable. And then they would come on and do an update of, day 15, day 16, and then they just eventually called that show Nightline.
But news just wasn't for nighttime. It's just just didn't get news at night. You just had to wait for the morning to see.
Yes.
It's so, isn't that like culturally, that's something I don't we don't even think about that often.
No.
Is that we live in a world where you can never not get news. News is always at any point.
People, obviously they would break into news.
Right.
If there was a big story. But no, the 6 o'clock news was the national news. Period.
What was the beginning of the 24-hour news cycle?
CNN in the 80s, cable.
Yeah.
When cable came around, Ted Turner got the idea of news, and people were laughing at him, going, what makes you think there's that much news?
That's so interesting.
It's still true. Is there really enough news? How much of it are they just repeating?
Yeah. Most of the time, if you're watching a big story, even a story that's in the act of unfolding, how often do you have to hear them repeat themselves before they get another little bit of information? If you're watching an emergency situation, a crisis, you get a good 2 hours. We still just know this. But we're still pointing the camera outside of whatever, building.
But, if you look up, we got 3 news channels on right now, right? There isn't one news show on. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have talking head shows.
Yeah.
So if you look at, let's say, Fox News, they only have the one news show. Your buddy.
Shepard Smith.
Yeah, Shepard Smith is doing he's a news guy, and that's a news show. The rest of it is his commentary.
Yeah.
So you're not missing or not getting the news if you don't have on MSNBC right now. You're just not hearing somebody's fucking opinion.
Yeah.
So then, in those days, and it was a shared thing, that let's say Walter Cronkite, he went out of his way not to be opinionated. He went out of his way just to deliver the facts every night. And then people would go, I'm going to take these facts and create an opinion with them.
Yeah. And then that's mostly, because of the way news is now, it's very hard to even separate those ideas. There's very few places that I think you could say you're getting unopinionated news.
Hey, here's Sean. Sean, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ronnie B.
Yeah.
You touched on it, but I can remember growing up, they'd have that breaking news and your heart would skip a beat like, Jesus, what happened? I cannot remember the last time that's happened.
Well, because we use the term breaking news all the time now. If I'm looking up, look, breaking news.
Yes.
And it's just none of those are breaking news. If they were breaking news, everybody would be running the same thing, but they're not. This one says military contractor met Russian envoy on Trump's behalf. 70 people dead and suspected gas attack in Syria. And what do we got over here? Former security advisor Susan Rice responding to something. So none of those are, Court, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie, I was trying to be a wise ass to say that David Lee Roth leaving Van Halen was a big news story. But then your call screener was like, who is it? What band? I just go, we're getting old, man. We're getting too old. Because she didn't even know who that was. And I just thought that was a big news story for us.
Look, just to make you feel a little better about it, she also doesn't know who the Foo Fighters are.
It's terrible. So now I feel shitty. I was trying to, be a wise guy, but now I feel like a piece of shit because I'm like 50 years old.
Look, let me tell you something.
Does not know who Van Halen is.
David Lee Roth caused it upon himself when he came out with his own solo work. The Van Halen brothers were not going to put up with that.
No, they're very strict. Strict but fair.
Here's Curtis in Texas.
Yes, I was going to say that astronauts are some of the few scientific celebrities. I once, in a social situation, got to meet Alan Bean, who I think was like the 4th or 5th guy to walk on the moon. And I had to do everything I could just to keep my shit together and not kind of, celebrity out, like, kind of just go crazy. I also almost had the opportunity to meet right before, he passed away, both Buzz Aldrin and Armstrong were at the airport. I missed them by a few minutes, and it was
Buzz is still alive.
Oh yeah, Buzz is, but Armstrong. They were both together, and they hadn't been like in the same room for ages at that point.
Neil Armstrong stayed pretty quiet after he went to the moon. It was very. There was always, a lot of talk about that. But check out this documentary, "The Last Man on the Moon." I have to tell you the truth. You'll get a little choked up just looking at it. I mean, because the fact is that we're like, these guys did it, but at the same time, we were like, we have accomplished this.
Yeah.
And when I say we, I don't even mean Americans. I mean human beings. Our fucking first species to get into the space on the moon. How long do you think it's going to take a fucking garden slug to get to the moon? Well, unless an astronaut puts one in his pocket, it ain't fucking happening. And everyone's like, oh, the majestic leopard. Really? Because I don't see them get more than 8-10 feet off the fucking ground. Where we went to the fucking moon. We put 12 white men on the moon. We've done it, white men. And that's why since then we're like, why can't you just listen to us? We went to the fucking moon.
I thought we were taking it as a victory for the human race. Now
Yes.
it's just white men?
Yes. Well, I'm just saying, I'm being specific as it needs to be. As specific as you can humanly get it. And by the way, there's never been a single fucking millennial on the moon.
No,
yes, you're very sexual. You're very fluid sexually. Okay? But a lot of that time you're wasting your jizz instead of getting up on the moon.
It's true.
Like the baby boomers.
All this ass play isn't getting us anywhere.
No. And then I'll tell you something else. You're going to think that you're going to fart one day and end up shitting yourself. Shitting right down your fucking leg. And it's because you're not paying attention to how fucking important it is to keep a nice tight asshole.
I know. It's all this butt chugging we've been doing.
Dude, Chris will back me up on this. We're standing on the fucking street last night and we're having a fucking smoke like a couple gentlemen. A millennial walks by us and he's on his stupid fucking phone and he's going like this. I'm going to get my back pussy filled up.
Yep.
That's what he fucking says as he's going by us.
In a phone conversation. That's more of a text.
And I'll say this. If you don't have a front pussy, you can't call it the back pussy.
Sir, that's just your pussy then.
Yes. Or your inverted cock.
Whichever you choose.
Ooh. Brad, Tennessee.
This is so embarrassing. Speaking of a victory for the human race, I'm 36, so I don't know. I think you're right, Ronnie. We don't have anything in our collective country conscious where we all just celebrated. And I know this will send, Vito's thighs a quiver, but Hogan, Warrior in Toronto, WrestleMania 6, it was the first time as a child I remember all of my friends and all of my community being like, oh my God, I can't believe what just happened. It's incredibly embarrassing. For
I don't even think it was a top WrestleMania moment.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't go moment to moment of WrestleManias, but I'm going to guess you're going to say the Montreal Screwjob.
No, first of all, I'm going to say this right now. I don't think that the Warrior was much of a worker. And I know I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but I thought he was fucking goddamn boring as shit in the ring.
I mean, sure, he was great on the stick.
Was he?
Hulk Hogan.
You like crazy people.
Listen to me, Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
And here's this thing, Hulk Hogan.
Me and my little warriors. That's when Hogan tried to fuck him over by acting like there was witchcraft involved.
Yeah.
I'm going to down for one thing. Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, is up there on the cross, man, doing his thing. Going out there taking care of everybody. You're just like, you fuck.
Many children follow the warrior gods, Hulk Hogan.
He fucked himself over. He couldn't carry it. He could not carry the fucking organization. Anyway, we're getting away from the fact.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this. I mean, Chris, the internet being invented. That was a great moment.
That breaking news story.
Do you ever wonder why you can't follow along? Is there a reason you think?
I'm not sure.
No, you're shaking your belly back and forth. Is that a nerve?
I used to do that for fun.
Is that a
Feels
nerve
good.
thing?
No, it feels good.
Are you taking belly dancing classes?
No,
By the way, could you please sit down with Jen and go over popular culture with her? Just give her the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah, I'll go over some stuff.
I mean,
and every at the end of the week, every week we'll do a pop culture pop quiz.
First of all, I like that.
Wait.
I like that.
Jen's pop culture pop quiz.
I like that. And the fact she didn't know who Rod Stewart was the other day. And she goes, did he do time passages? I'm like, Jen, that's Al Stewart. Connor wants to talk to us about the Ireland GPS.
Nice. I'm ready. I'm very excited to get that one started.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
I know you weren't into the Florida one at all.
That is not true.
I didn't know that. Okay, my bad then.
You know that I've always said I'm American by birth, but I'm Southern by the grace of God.
That's annoying. It's an annoying thing to say. You know that Leonard Skinner doesn't use the Confederate flag anymore.
Yeah,
they were the last ones.
They had
Petty had to pull out. Petty used to do it too.
Yeah, he used to have like a big backdrop of it, right? Like that was his.
And then Willie always used the Texas flag. I don't know whether he still does, but the thing of it would start out like Willie Nelson and his band. They would just be in the dark, and it'd be, and then it would start off Whiskey River, and the whole this giant fucking Texas flag would fall down. You'd be like, yeah, no, the Texas flag. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm in Allentown right now. I don't know why I'm screaming like this, but it was a very dramatic opening to a show.
This is the Texas we've loved all our lives.
He was on 60 Minutes the other night. Willie, fucking fantastic.
He's so great.
I mean, he is, in my opinion, American number one.
You put him as our best
number one American. I can't think of a better person to represent the United States of America.
I'm fine
than
with
Willie
it.
Nelson. I just wish he'd stop it with that weed stuff. I'm worried it'll lead to stronger drugs.
It's a gateway.
Sessions
It is a
after him.
gateway. It's a slippery slope. I know. Sessions is like he came here from the past to attack us. These poor marijuana people.
I think he uses the term marijuana cigarettes.
He said that he goes, they do that and then they listen to that jungle music dancing around. Listening to jazz bebop. Well, Trump has never smoked a joint in his life either.
Is that what he says?
Never had a drink, never smoked a joint.
Oh, that's right.
Never had a cigarette, nothing.
I wonder why. Like, I'm curious why. I totally understand if you're the type of person you try something and you don't like it. But it's interesting to me, like, I have not even a drop of alcohol, a smoke, nothing.
He claims that his brother drank and that scared him. I'm like, wait, that's how you're supposed to start drinking yourself.
Yeah. That's how you figure out.
He
Do
said
we
the
have the
only
same
thing that he has ever done is that he tied a small sunfish to his penis. And he said he kept that in school and it was just flopping around in his pants. The girl next to him was going crazy. It's like, how's that happening?
Just take a drink.
Just fucking smoke a doob.
This is my poison.
Unbelievable.
Sunfish dick.
Well, you know, you got to have some fun in life. You got to go out and grab it by the pussy.
I try to grab life by the pussy every day.
But anyway, no, he's never had a drink, never had any fucking weed. I think he did bumps for a while, and that's it.
Okay.
What do you do?
That's don't drink, don't smoke. He's adamant. He's the adamant of fucking New York real estate. Today I was watching Trump and he goes like this. He had a meeting with a bunch of people and he goes, it's good to see all the killers from New York here. And then he had to go, you know, real estate, construction people. Not actual killers. Victor in Florida.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, buddy.
$1 million, buddy.
$1 million.
Just wanted to say, it always just sticks out in my mind. I grew up in Annapolis, Maryland, so Vietnam was a big player around here, and Naval Academy and all that, which was the evacuation of Vietnam. I always remember that image of the helicopter on the embassy. taking people out.
When Vietnam fell, there is a great documentary. I believe it's called The Last Days of Vietnam. And they went back and found footage of us leaving. I felt I felt like I knew the story my whole life, and I saw things that absolutely amazed me. On the ship there, they some of the young sailors had shot stuff, and then just had never shared it with anyone. Just shot this film.
Do you remember the name of it?
Yes, it's called The Last Days of Vietnam, and one of the Kennedy girls is the maker of it, and I had her come in. I sincerely thought I knew that story my whole life, and I saw things that I could not fucking believe. But when I was little, as we were, talking about the stuff that was on TV every day was Vietnam stuff.
Yeah.
And the way, since I was a little kid, I ignored it is just unbelievable to me. Like I would see it, I would know it, and then ignore it to have my own separate piece.
Because it just felt like adult problems or issues, or did it feel distant to you? Like, did it feel like
because my sister used to go to the Navy hospital in Philadelphia and bring guys home.
Yeah.
Guys that were returning from Vietnam and guys that were rehabilitating. And she would bring people. She'd bring in my house, and my mom would make, dinner like she did every night. And then these guys would sit here. And I'm talking about guys that, had lost legs or lost hands, and they seemed like men to me when I was a little kid. But looking back on it now, probably nobody was over 21 years old.
Yeah.
And it was something weird that kids do, where you're just like, I'm not taking this in. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like you just weren't equipped to assess what you
I don't know
were
what you
seeing.
do when you're a kid. You just, Chris talks. I even remember this, and it's very interesting to me, but me and my friends would play Army, right? And we would play World War II Army. We never played Vietnam Army. I think a lot of times, too, we didn't have the record collection that you needed to fool it. You know what I mean? I'm like, we didn't have Credence.
Right.
But there's something about a little kid, like you just don't let that too far into your consciousness.
And the coverage, like Vietnam coverage versus any other war or crisis we've had, was much more graphic, right? I mean, like, weren't the images that were being shown on the news much more graphic than, say...
Absolutely true, because the news was for adults. No one sat around going, what if my kids see this? And they need, you know what I mean?
Right.
It was, but every night they would put numbers on how many Viet Cong died, how many American soldiers died. And I always remember my mom being like, oh my God, oh gee, you know what I mean? This is horrible. And I just never let it sink in.
Do you remember your parents explaining things to you? Like, did they feel like they had to kind of explain what was going on?
Absolutely, because people were, Bobby Kennedy got killed when I was little, and we had only, like, I don't remember Jack Kennedy dying, but that thing hovered over my entire childhood. You know what I mean? Like, that was always school, and there was pictures of, Jack Kennedy, and, he was murdered. And then when Bobby was murdered, Martin Luther King was murdered, and Malcolm X was murdered all in the same year. You can imagine they thought the world was coming apart.
Do you remember the coverage of Bobby Kennedy, like the train ride?
He went through my town. He went through Chester, Pennsylvania. And I remember everybody was singing Glory, Hallelujah.
Man, that's so wild.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of just crazy news stories that broke within only just a couple years is just like some of the most dramatic times.
Well, that was also the time of Manson. And I used to play with a kid named Bobby Lumpianca, and I went over to his house that morning, and the whole place said, I just got up there, and it said, Death to Piggies on one door. I'm like, that's odd. I'm not going to knock on that door. And the other one said Helter Skelter. And I'm like, That seems friendlier, but it's in blood. What do I do? They were just, I don't know whether you saw the Manson thing that was on a couple weeks ago, but they showed the Sharon Tate house, and it was the most beautiful, serene, sweetest fucking property you've ever seen in your life. Just
Really?
gorgeous. And yeah, you're on a hill, totally surrounded by trees like you're in the country, but you can see the whole LA skyline. You can see all the way out. And it was just absolutely a gorgeous piece of property.
And where were they? Like, they were just like not far from there, like that they were gathering. Like, why was it that they chose that house?
Terry Melcher, who was a record producer, had lived in that house before Sharon Tate. So they knew the house. They knew how to get up to it. They knew it was secluded, you know.
Yeah.
The La Bianca house, there was a party house next to that they had been to before. So it was just picked out because, hey, we know where to park. We know, what to do. Yeah, this fucking thing was crazy. This is it's just nonsense still that people are still obsessed with it all these years later.
Yeah.
Almost 50 years later.
Well, it's also that always has to do too with like if the killer or the villain of the story is as dramatic as he's beyond a character. Like that's where the obsession comes from. Like of all of the murderers and personalities like that.
And his weird connections to the music industry. The whole fucking thing's insane.
Yeah, but it had to do with Sharon being such a beautiful, just stunningly beautiful person. Crazy beautiful. And the fact that she'd been on Beverly Hillbillies. I mean, what more do you want? Greg Stone, hilarious and cringeworthy stories up on the iBang, as well as pictures of him. But he did one of the worst things I've ever... You got to go back and read the story of when he was singing on stage. I don't know why he ended up there, but he tells the story. He's told the story on stage and saying that was the first time he got drunk. But he admitted in this interview that he wasn't even drunk. He was just stupid. Which I love. Somebody go, for years I've told you this, but this is the truth.
Like he had to make himself drunk just to justify it in some way.
Yeah, he had to say no one would do this unless they would. Like people would laugh if they thought I was drunk, but they wouldn't laugh if they just thought I was fucking stupid. He's also a guy who collects those like little figures. Action figures. Yeah.
He has a ton of them.
Well, anyone who collects does, right? No one says I have a collection of 5. You know what I mean? Am I right about this, Vito?
Yeah, no,
But somebody then always acts like, oh my God, they got like 200. But if you don't have 200, you're not a collector.
You just have a couple of the same thing.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Chris, now you're neighbors with him. You could be hanging out with this house.
No, Greg Stone hates Chris.
Well, ever since the sandwich thing, there's a serious beef.
South Chris and Charlie's.
South Chris and Charlie's.
South Chris and Charlie's.
Southwest.
Southwest. But anyway, you got to go in and read this story. He's fucking hilarious, but he's also, I'm going to say it as a guy who loves him, he's also an embarrassment. I mean, this story, I can't even handle. I can't read it.
I like a good cringe. I love and hate a good cringe story.
Well, I always like when someone comes back and says the truth. Like if they'll say to you, remember how I told you I was with my second cousin? It was my first cousin.
I always change this, but
or they'll just be like this. I said for years about this, but it's just I never did get backstage for Rush. I don't know why I said that I did. I guess I wanted to be a big man around you guys. Think this cold will ever go away?
I don't know. It's really lasted.
Yeah.
Should you see a doc?
The only doc I'm going to go see is Gooden.
I mean, I
He's
guess
got-
he could help you.
He's got just the pills I need.
Oh, no.
Why do you say, oh, no, Chris? You think pills are just for you and not for me? You think you have the right to be an addict and I don't?
I think that everyone has their own path.
Oh, wow, that's fucking heavy,
Right,
dude. I
right.
didn't think of that. You're right. We
Christ.
are on a journey.
You know,
Chris.
Ron, I've always been saying, why are you always taking Chris's path? You have your own.
Because he's a wise man, and I want to live my life the way he does. Chris, I want to thank you for showing up last night, too. That was nice of you.
That was nice of
It
you.
was fantastic.
You don't think our prizes were too good compared to the other shitty prizes?
Our prizes blew everyone else's away.
And yet, I don't think we get enough credit for it.
Well,
Mainly because only one hump leaves with it instead of a bunch.
I mean, the winner gets a ton of stuff. Our prizes being the best out of that
Yes,
stuff.
stop fucking being like that. That's why no one likes us.
Oh.
Because you get aggressive with everyone
Our
else.
prizes did get big pops, though.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Hosp there last night?
Yes, he was.
Was he in the front row?
Yeah, and I didn't realize it until like the very end.
I feel the same way, but then I wasn't even sure if it was Hosp, and he was with a girl.
Yeah.
I thought he didn't have a girlfriend.
I think he does now because I saw him leave with a young lady.
If I would have known it was him, I would have picked him out.
I don't know if he had a name tag.
Oh, okay.
It's only the people with the name tags.
Well, I picked him the first time. The first one I did, I picked Hosp. All right, so he did. He posted a photo of what?
Was it a dick pic?
Chris.
Chris, you know
It
that's
always
not
goes
good.
back to pederast stuff.
He's of age. He's a grown man.
But you acted like it was a child.
You did.
What? No, didn't.
You did say that.
I didn't. At least as far as I know, I didn't. Now you have me questioning it.
Tim, what's up?
Hey, I remember the Kennedy assassination. I remember the way that everybody was really, real somber and everything all the time. And I was born in '61
And you
in July.
You can just remember being an infant and remembering that, huh? That can happen.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what I think with the Challenger for me. Like I have flashes of memory from it, but then when you look at the date,
It was a past life. You remembered a past
my
life.
God.
Wow.
I remember Bobby Kennedy. I was a little kid, and my mom woke me up in the morning. Now, again, there was a situation where Bobby Kennedy was killed at night, but my mom didn't know about it until the following morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was waking me up, and she was crying. And she said, Ronnie, get up. You know how she gets crazy. They shot Bobby. They shot Bobby. Now, the thing is, my brother's name is Bobby.
Oh, God.
So I go like this. Who was it, Johnny Loopy? She's like, what? Why would Johnny Loopy kill Bobby Kennedy? And I go, oh, I thought you were talking about my brother. It wasn't the Okersons, was it? Yes, Big J. I had Okersons in my neighborhood. Want to make a big deal out of that? We can do it.
I had a teacher who told us the story that he remembers he was very young, but he remembers the news of Pearl Harbor. Like he was like a toddler, and he remembers because his mother was cooking breakfast, and it came on the radio, she dropped the plate of eggs on the ground, and he was on the ground. And so that was his trauma of it. It's like,
Yes.
he nearly dropped these eggs on me. And then she was like yelling for like his father or something to come listen to the news. So that's his memory of it, is like from this perspective of like a toddler on the ground.
Do you know that when that happened, that a lot of Americans at the time didn't even know where Hawaii was?
Really?
Yeah.
They're like, is that close?
Is Hawaii around here? And are we in Hawaii? That's what I want to know. No, my dad had the thing where, when Roosevelt made that famous speech, my dad said that they were all called to the auditorium to listen to that speech, and they brought out on the stage a big radio.
I love that story. Rolled it out as the
It's
auditorium.
radio time, everybody. And he was like, my dad ended up leaving school early, graduating early, so that he could go into the war.
Yeah.
And I was like, were you scared? And he goes, the whole time, all I did was look forward to it.
Yeah.
Until I was being shipped there.
Yeah, he had told me, he said, I regret it now, but like conversation with me and all my friends was like, let's hope this war keeps up.
Yes.
Like everyone wanted to get there. Like the idea of not being someone who went would have been almost like emasculating. Like you don't want this whole generation of people you grew up with just a year or two older than you having gone and you missed it.
Young men are stupid when it comes to war. Every young man wants to be tested when they're young.
Yeah.
They want to raise a rifle. It's crazy not to say that. It's just not, there's anything but the truth. But young men want to go out and take the hero's journey. And then when they get on it, they're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
But my father is one of the few people that I've ever talked to in my life who is very positive and thinks positively about dropping the bomb in Japan, and said that bomb saved my life. I was part of the invasion of Japan. I would have, everybody that was in the Philippines. And, I talked to Jack, and his dad was in the Philippines at the same time on Navy with the Marines. So those Navy ships used to take Marines around from island to island to island. And I always think, I wonder if my dad and Jack's dad ever ended up in close vicinity.
Yeah, well, because it was so spread, it's weird how many different types of experiences people had. Like the island hopper experience was so vastly different than some other options you could have had. It was
I'm telling you, I just watched the Salinger documentary the other night. Again, you got to see this just to see what this man went through for a year in World War II. But the first combat that Salinger saw was D-Day. That thing, and you know it from Saving Private Ryan. He hit that beach. And then, according to them, it got rougher as they got inland. It was rougher than even D-Day.
Wow.
And he saw action almost every day for 200 straight days until finally, his brain snapped. And they said there was no other human response other than your brain giving out to what he saw.
It's weird. My understanding of that day actually came from having seen Stand By Me, and then having you and my mom explain, because he's like yelling all the time, like, my father stormed the beach in Normandy.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what that meant, like, because that's all he just kept saying, like, he was in Normandy, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, but he was down at Tokus right now.
He's a loony down at Tokus. Loony.
Yeah, none of those guys came back. I remember, like, anybody from, and hearing about this about people my dad's age, but they said someone was shell shocked. They would just use, instead of post traumatic stress, it was always shell shock. And to me, as a little kid, I thought, man, those shells must have been so fucking loud.
Yeah.
Probably a shell went off near them and it fucking just
shook him up.
Yeah, shook him up so much.
It was like a
Shut the shit
non-emotional
up.
thing. It was
Yeah.
just more like a physical response.
Oh, so loud. So loud being the war. So this looks ugly over here with this gas attack in Syria. If they're really using the fucking gas. Well, Vito, it might be time for you to go to war. Do us proud, will you?
First Foxcatcher, though.
Do
That's
me a
your
favor.
training.
Kill a kraut for us, will you, Vito?
Now I'm all for Foxcatcher to get me pumped up for the war.
I don't think you ever have to worry about going to war, not at your weight.
I'll definitely get exempt.
If people are getting out for flat feet, then yeah.
My heart would give up.
They don't have boots to fit you.
We're losing a lot just on material costs.
Hey, Dutch, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Benningtons. Hey, just to lighten it up a little bit.
What do you mean lighten it up?
I remember the first event that I can recall was the Bicentennial in '76, and they did a big thing in our grade school, and I just remember being dressed up in red, white, and blue from head to toe, and wearing a pair of plaid pants that made me look like Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack.
Well, thanks for lightening it up. That event of a birthday of a country meant a lot to us.
It wasn't as big as the news of the internet, but
That was huge.
Chris made a fucking mistake, okay?
Thank you,
He
Ron, for
admitted
defending
to
me.
it. No. It's just a statement that Chris made a mistake.
I'll take it as defense.
Can I tell you something, Leroy? We got to get you a woman.
I have a number of women that I'm talking to. I think that's fine.
It's just going nowhere.
Oh, no.
We need to find you a nice girl.
Oh. I like not being in a relationship and just seeing random women. I like it. I don't like having to be responsible to anyone.
It just doesn't seem like. When's the last one that you were with sexually?
I was with the girl who got bronchitis.
got bronchitis.
How'd that work out?
We made love, but I don't think it's going anywhere. And then I met another girl who's actually from Hawaii.
Is she Hawaiian?
She was not Hawaiian, but she was like born in Hawaii.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, but she has like a Hawaiian name.
Then it sounds like she's
Okay.
Hawaiian, dude.
I don't think she's Hawaiian.
All signs point to Hawaiian, Chris.
Why don't you give her a nice fresh pineapple?
She'll love that.
God, every one of these lunatics that he gets. I'm a fox.
Scroll some pics.
She's attractive. It was a fine date. No lovemaking though.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe because she only knew me for 3 hours.
Wait, you already went on this date?
Yeah, that was last Friday.
And you didn't figure out if she was Hawaiian or just from Hawaii?
No, she was. She's not Hawaiian. She was born in Hawaii, but her parents gave her a Hawaiian name, Lahua.
I think she looks a little bit like that girl from Parks and Rec, Quincy Jones's daughter.
Yes, she does. Rashida Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Send Connor in. I want to talk Ireland with him.
Connor. There he goes.
How come we've never seen a picture of Connor's girlfriend?
I have never seen a picture either, no. Hey, Connor.
How's it going?
When we go to break, I'm going to play Connor's rock hit, too. So you're thinking Ireland for the next one?
Oh, yes. And I have a list of bands with me.
Let me guess, you too?
It's on there.
You ever heard of a band called U2?
Let's see. Are we thinking them?
I have Van Morrison on there, and that's in the Van Morrison realm. If you want to use it, them and Van Morrison, I think you have to put Van Morrison solo stuff on there.
Okay.
There's so much we could take from. Of course, Thin Lizzy. Of course, the top of the list is Rory Gallagher, my man.
That's your favorite.
I love Rory Gallagher so much. It gets weird sometimes how much I love.
I had no idea that you loved him that much until I told you I saw him that time and you went crazy.
Yeah. We still have to have that 3-hour conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if I got 3 hours for you.
Nope. Has to be that long.
Just me yelling out, "This is great!" But I thought he was fucking unbelievable. What was the other one? The Rubber Bandits.
The Rubber Bandits. Yeah. Horse Outside.
Yeah.
That should open.
Love that fucking song.
The song's the shit.
Who else is from Ireland?
Boomtown Rats.
Oh, that's right.
Boomtown Rats. I should have brought my list is in the other room.
General running in. Dexys.
Oh, they're still on.
You're allowed to say it out
Yeah,
loud.
you can
End
say
table.
it.
It's on the end table.
It's on the end table. End table.
It's the end table. We don't want the listeners to know we
Look
have an
how
end
she
table.
runs. She's always running
Yeah,
fast
she
for
is.
us.
She's very quick.
And
She's skilled.
She's telling us that she's not lighting up her hair on purpose, but it's very light now.
No, it's getting very spring summery looking.
Yeah, it is. All right, who else is gonna?
So right now we got top of the list: Roy Gallagher, Thin Lizzy, Gary Moore, who was a member of Thin Lizzy but also had a long solo career. Van Morrison. I was talking to Chris earlier about including the Dubliners because they did a song with the Pogues, which is very rocking because we want to kind of keep it in the rock era.
Yeah, but we got to play the Pogues still.
Oh, yeah. That's on there. Boomtown Rats, the Water Boys, the Undertones, Stiff Little Fingers.
Oh, great band.
Yeah, there's tons
This is
of
a fucking great one.
Yeah.
It's really good.
U2, the Pogues, the Horse Slips, which is a really weird band, but it should be in there.
I like when we play weird band stuff.
Yeah, this is like, they're like a prog rock band that put like Irish traditional, and it's really weird.
No women in there? Oh,
we could put Sinead O'Connor in there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
This is like a possible list because there's thousands.
Cranberries could make it.
Cranberries could be
Are
in
the
there.
Coors, they,
I believe so. But I don't think we were looking at 70s, 80s. The Coors, are they 90s?
Yeah, we can have 190s.
Yeah.
No one's going to stop us.
Things move slower over there. So
They do move slow.
we can have
And
a longer
Kathleen
time.
from the Bronx is going there to record an album.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd love to include that.
Yeah, it's an album of covers, if I'm going to be totally honest. She hasn't written in quite some time.
Well, if it's an Irish cover, I think we should definitely include it.
Yeah. One of the songs is called Shut Your Fucking Face, that she's loving. Another one's just called That's My Ma. I don't know what everyone was about, but apparently it's a little heartbreaking. Here is Randy. Randy, what's up? Randy in PA, we got you, buddy?
Randy?
Moving on. Jeff in Cleveland.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hey, buddy.
I saw Lori Gallagher years ago, and I was collecting guitar picks at the time, and I was in the front row, so I'm yelling to him, can I have a guitar pick? Can I have a guitar pick? He kept throwing me one after every song, but it kept veering off. Finally, he got so upset with me, he just came over, took my hand out, and shoved it in my hand.
Well, that's Chris believes that you can have a collection of 5. That's still good.
It's a great collection.
Sal Vulcano says I'll be performing at Moon Tower Comedy Fest as well as Unmasked with Bennington show. So he's put that out to his crazy followers.
So that means do not delay. Go to theinterrobang.com for a chance of free tickets. It's Friday, April 21st, 6 p.m. at the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas. It's all part of the Moon Tower Comedy Festival, and that's Unmasked with Sal Vulcano.
And all right, let's go to break and let's play Leeds' big hit song. That, by the way, when you wrote this, they come to you fast or?
Yeah, it depends. If it takes more than like 20 minutes, I just throw it away.
Smart. Smart. That's how Chris is with his booking abilities. If you have to do something other than email, he's out.
I'm going to delete your email address. And then block you.
All right, so this is Leeds. We'll be right back. It's Bennington. Unmasked with Sal Vulcano from Impractical Jokers is happening Friday, April 21st at 6 p.m. at the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas. All part of the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. We're looking forward to this one. Sal is our buddy, and we just love that guy.
Go to theinterrobang.com for a chance at free tickets, and do not wait. Do it right now.
Chris just put up a picture of Sal too, so now we know what he looks like. And there he is at the stand.
He said,
he's there at the stand.
He said, "This is what you can expect when you get there. This is what he's going to look like."
Good. I hope he's wearing that shirt too. Chris, you had a big doctor's appointment yesterday.
All right, so I had a doctor's appointment. Went to the ear doctor for the first time as an adult. And I can't tell you how fucking amazing it was to get your ears unclogged. Apparently I had an impacted right ear. It felt fucking amazing to get your ear cleaned out.
My ear?
No. Like as a human being.
One's ear.
Why don't you just talk from your own thing instead of trying to talk for humanity? What happened? Why is your ear packed with what? Wax?
Wax.
Now, as long as I've known you, we've told you to stop putting stuff in your ear.
Yeah, scratching my ear or picking my ear with either a pen or whatever.
Do you think that's because you've had so much wax jammed in there over the years?
I think so. I mean, I told the doctor that yes, I've been using a pen to scratch my ear or whatever and to dig in there.
Did he have concern about that?
He was like, you should never do that ever again. And then he said, "Look, there were layers and layers of earwax inside my right ear that he had to dump. It took him a half hour to clean out the one ear."
Now, what did he do to clean it out?
All right, so he poured in peroxide, and then that was apparently loosens it up, and then he put in like a long thin suction like device, put it in my ear, and I could feel the earwax ripping out of my ear for like a half hour.
Did it feel good while it was happening?
It felt fucking amazing. It felt incredible.
What could you compare that feeling to?
It felt like I mean, this like satisfaction, almost like coming. Like it was like almost like coming.
Eargasm?
It was a goddamn eargasm for a half hour long as he's sucking this earwax out of my. Like every time the earwax popped out, it was like almost coming again. It was fucking nuts.
Can you hear better today?
Yeah, I can hear better today, and there's like my ear doesn't pop anymore.
And your left ear?
My left ear apparently wasn't that bad, but he did the same thing. Took a lot less time.
And that wasn't as impressive.
Didn't feel as good.
Now,
but it still felt all right.
Does he think you'll build up that wax again, or you're good to go for lifetime now?
He thinks it's going to build up again because I built up like a ridiculous amount of earwax inside my head.
So you don't know why you have earwax at a level that most people don't.
He didn't know either. It's like, listen, mate, your body just generates a lot of earwax.
Interesting to me too. His right ear generates more earwax, just like his right armpit sweats more.
That's
like, what is
interesting.
going on with your right
Fascinating.
side of your body?
This is fucking weird.
But, not only have we seen him stick pens in his ears, all kinds of weird things, I have seen him take a pocket knife and start to, and not gently, not along the sides, stick it into his ear and started to dig. And I'm just the visual of him doing it and nearly
I've seen
brought me.
paper clips in his ears. But maybe you know something. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's been bothering you in a way that us humans can't understand because the amount of
What is it, boy?
earwax that you've impacted in there. Now, what made you finally go to the doctor for your ear?
Remember, like last year, I got like water in my ear and it kept popping over and over again.
No,
well, that happened, and it disappeared, and then it started coming.
Your ear disappeared?
Oh my god!
No, the popping disappeared, and then my ear just started popping constantly, and it was driving me fucking insane. So I had to go fucking get this thing checked out.
So you were just like hearing like sounds of pops in your ear.
It was like popping like
And
it was
pain?
clogged. Yeah, pain, and it was like clogged all the time, and it was fucking. I couldn't deal with it, so I had to go to the doctor.
Now, did he let you make a candle out of that earwax that you had?
No, he didn't. It was all that earwax was mixed in with.
But
the
he
peroxide.
agreed with you. He said, this is a freakish amount of wax. No wonder you've been driving yourself insane.
He was weirded out by it. There was one doctor. He's like, I gotta get the other doctor to fucking break this shit up because he was like, I can't break into this last layer of fucking earwax.
Oh.
And I had to apologize to the man.
For what?
I said, I'm sorry. There's so much earwax inside my head.
Oh my god!
No.
Because he was going at my fucking ear, and I was like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "Is it hurt?" I was like, "No, dude, it feels good."
Oh god, that's embarrassing.
That must make him really uncomfortable.
It was creepy. He was creeped out.
Well, here's the interesting thing, Chris. You haven't been making this up. There's something weird about your ear that's been bothering you. But now you know instead of putting a knife or a paperclip into
Yes.
it, you'll just go to the doctor.
Yeah, I'll just go to a doctor. He's one block
Thanks to
over.
Trump Care. Trump Care paid 100% for it.
Thank you, Trump Care.
Fixed your ear.
Thank you, Trump Care.
And I saw him go to work with that goiter, so he knows what's up.
Hell yeah.
He's removing it himself.
But that's gonna feel good too.
Oh, I would love for this to put an end to you sticking things into your ear.
Right now, you're totally happy.
Exactly. Yeah, this is great. I got a goddamn clear ear.
For once in his life, there's no wax to hurt him. He's got a real clear ear. That's great, man. Congratulations,
I'm
Chris.
really happy
Thank you.
for
Thanks
What
for
a
looking
remarkable story. Yeah. I felt like we should get you a little present.
Oh, that'd be earmuffs.
ear cake.
So hungry for an ear cake.
So waxy.
You cut into it, it's just like lemon cream. It's a good idea. Ear cake. So up on the iBank today, there's this story of, did you see this video of someone putting a baby inside of a dead whale?
Now, this is people that are, I guess, native to Alaska or Canada or something.
When I saw the headline, I paused. I had concern,
Mhm.
but I didn't realize it was part of some
Ritual.
kind of ritual. So initially, it kind of like freaked me out because they're like the carcass is completely split open. They stick this little infant in, but as soon as they close it up, they start doing a prayer for him to be like a good hunter, to be
Mhm.
brave.
That thing also looks like they're putting him in a canoe. It's so wide.
It's so
I mean, he's
big.
not stuffed in there tight. The interesting thing is, he was just in the belly of another mammal.
Yes.
And then you take him out of that mammal, perhaps the greatest hunt in the world, human, and put it in the belly of it looks like a whale.
And like they're very pleased because when they open it up, they have a shock because he's not crying. So that means something very significant. Like, look at, he's brave. He's comfortable in there. They're like, he's not even making a peep. But it's like one of those things, like culturally, you look at somebody else's, baby ritual, birthing ritual, and it seems very barbaric or it seems unsafe. And then to other people, it's just completely normal.
Well, it's the way to welcome the infant to his people, right?
Yeah.
You are now you're just not by yourself. You're one of us.
Right.
So this thing is, particularly since this is how they get their food or whatever, what they've done for generations and generations, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, like I know that there are people like they get upset at the idea of like the scarification that they do on babies in Africa.
Love it. Love to scar the babies.
But it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like they do these little essentially like tattoo them with scars.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do that at different phases. I think once when they're a newborn and then another time when they hit maybe like puberty or something. You get these markings. But it's like to somebody else, you're just like, oh, that's completely barbaric. But
Look.
to them, maybe dunking your baby underwater and saying, oh, now, now he's good. We've just stuck him underwater.
Well, babies want to be underwater, but in our family, when the babies are born, you get your little white pointy hat, you burn a cross,
That's how you learn.
Yeah, that's how you become one with the clan.
Yes. And then we all hold hands around the baby and say, one of us, one of us.
Gooba gabba, one of us. We accept you, we accept you.
One of us. When I saw this video, immediately the first thing I thought is, you're going to get the crazy, you're doing something terrible to your baby, and you're going to get the animal people. On both sides, you're going to be like, why are you doing this to this animal's body?
You can't be a vegan up north. You know what I mean? The further you get up north, the more you need protein.
You need
the
that
more
whale
you need
fat.
animal carcass. I think vegans would even like this. I only eat the carcass of animals that eat other carcass. Okay?
Interesting.
So I only eat meat-eating animals. That's it.
Like a wolf you would eat.
I'm hungry like a wolf. I eat
Yeah.
a bear. I think a bear will eat
Mhm.
something else. I'll eat a falcon.
Any bird of prey, really.
Yes. But if it's a nice bird, turkey, no.
No, you won't touch it.
I eat
Turkey's never bothered anybody.
I'll eat a wolf. I eat a lot of wolf, if I'm going to be totally honest.
Really?
Most nights I'm having wolf, even if it's just a little bit of wolf still as a side.
Would you eat a badger? Because that's like a scavenger animal.
Yes, I'll eat scavengers if they eat meat. If they're scavenging for turnips, I won't eat them. Now, here's the other side. I'll only eat vegetables that consume other vegetables. So I'll have a succotash where the corn is eating the lima bean. And I'll eat fish that eat other fish.
That makes sense.
That's why I don't eat whale.
Right. But you eat shark.
I eat a lot of shark. I'm almost too much.
Mm-hmm.
Shark sushi is my nickname. And that is chewy. It's chewier than you want it to be.
Who gave you this nickname?
I'm going to be totally honest. I gave it to myself. But other people immediately start calling me that.
I'm glad that worked out for you. It's
Because
very rare that it
I
does.
introduced myself as Shark Sushi. They're like, that's fucking cool. I go, it's real cool, dude. And I'll only drink alcohol that has been consumed by other alcohol. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So Irish car bombs is probably my number one drink.
Yeah.
It's all you drink?
What else is there, Chris? What do you have? Beer?
Sometimes.
Well, pour some on your vagina because you don't belong in there. And look, I'm just saying that women are weaker than men when it comes to Irish car bombs.
Sure. Yeah. I think I've had like maybe 2 in my life. The first time I ever did it, I was sitting with a bunch of men who did just like one gulp. I didn't even understand how
You got to
it's
do it in one gulp.
possible, and they were like, "You're doing it wrong."
You were.
Well, I'm only capable of so much.
You're like, I'm only 11. What am I
That's the
supposed to do? But a lot of times, like I drank the blood of vampire bats.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like I gained strength from that. I've eaten a lion before.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get a lion around here. I had to go to the zoo after hours. I had to go there at night.
Were you allowed in there?
Allowed? No one stopped me when I was going over the fence. Also, as a side dish that night, I had a barbed wire.
This just doesn't even seem related.
Crunchy. Crunchy. Too crunchy, in my opinion. It's the Bennington Show on Tuesday?
It's Tuesday.
Wow. Week's going slow.
Did you see who is the new face of Cherry Coke in China?
As much as I normally keep up with Chinese cola wars, I missed this one. But you have enticed me. Let me just try to guess right now. All right. Hop Sing. Is he still there?
No.
I was going to guess Kobe.
This is not it's not someone you'd expect. It's not a Chinese person. The new face of specifically Cherry Coke is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is the spokesperson of Cherry Coke.
All right, there's a picture of Warren Buffett's face on a can of Coke. And it should say above that, China is fucking weird. China is really weird.
Like, do you remember when we were all focused on Japan being weird and everything they do?
Yeah.
That's like China moved ahead, I think.
First of all, Japan looks like they're going to get wiped out by North Korea.
But this is like maybe one of the weirdest pairings I've ever seen. Like, there's definitely weird celebrity spokesperson situations, but this has got to be maybe the most surreal.
The Chinese, being communists, you think they wouldn't be big fans of a billionaire.
I really don't understand why. And it's not really something like normally a Coke product. You're trying to get the kids on your side.
Yeah. Well, the Chinese people love older white men.
Do they really, or are you just making it up?
I made that up.
Okay.
I believed it for a second because I know so little of their culture.
You said it so comfortably that I believed you. Here's our buddy Justin. Justin in Toronto. Long time, pal.
Hey, guys.
What's up, dude?
Not much. I heard you guys talking about that whole rite of passage thing where they put the baby in the whale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like all across the board, we have rites of passages, at different points in our lives. We usually have one a couple months old. For us, we weren't put in a whale, but we have a walking out ceremony where we're like introduced to the outside world, and a family member walks us around outside of a teepee, around a tree, and then we simulate either shooting a goose if you're a boy or chopping down a tree if you're a woman. And then they walk you back inside, and then there's a big feast. And then they make an offering to the fire.
Why do women chop down a tree?
Well, it's more collecting boughs, and because we use it as flooring and, for kindling.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really good for dissipating cold. So, yeah. And it smells great.
Oh, yeah. No one's saying it doesn't. But you had never heard of this putting the baby in a whale thing before?
No, never had anything that intense, but that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It looked like everybody looked normal about it, too.
Yeah.
Like, now it's time to put the baby in the whale.
Yeah, it's always funny to see those, culture clashes. Like my girlfriend, she had a bunch of these moments where it's just like, okay, this isn't normal,
Right.
Yeah.
But you are right that we only think it's normal if we grow up with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's something.
Yeah, and the amount of times I got confused by like shit white people did when I first moved down was it was astonishing.
Oh, how old were you when you first started to be around white people in their strange ways?
Must have been like 4 or 5.
Uh-huh.
And it was very weird. Just school in general, because like on the res, there's not much rules.
Yeah.
It's very old school. So to all of a sudden have rules and have to wear a uniform, it was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. I remember when I got around the full-time Catholics and how much they dimed out on each other. I couldn't believe it.
They're just always selling each other out for doing
They
this.
rat on each other.
Dude, like the amount of like I got snitched on this year, and it was it still happens. Like the amount of snitching my generation does is sickening.
Isn't that weird? And I'm like a big believer. Like even with my own kids, I didn't even ask them to rat on each other.
No, we didn't want to get stitches.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, my dad's covered for me a few times too.
Yeah, but I know school wasn't something like I liked the idea about at all when I was very little. Like, right now you're leaving the house where you're comfortable and going to school.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is nuts. I don't like it here, and I kind of feel like these people are evil.
Yeah.
So your thing, the reservation, that was Six Nations?
Oh no, I was in the James Bay Cree Nation of Mississippi. This is like 9 hours north of Montreal. The biggest freshwater lake. It was originally a freshwater camp, and then they put a trading post there. Eventually, it grew into like a reserve, and then now it's like a really big community because like we have one of the first like modern day comprehensive treaties with modern day legal language. So like, yeah, we do really well for ourselves, and it's kind of like an example I think the rest of North America should take. Because all these treaties are so old, and the legal language is so loose.
Right.
And that's what's kind of fucking over everyone.
Yeah.
But in America, it's just about the casinos now. You know what I mean? Like, there's little else gets talked about besides the casinos.
Yeah, save your community by destroying it.
Yeah, it's a very odd thing, but we just feel like, oh, all right, well, casino, that helps.
And like the very limited amount that you're taught about Native culture, like they teach you about it, but like aside from TP, like that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's done by design, out of sight, out of mind. They don't want you to know that the federal government's very willing to fuck over people. They want you to trust them.
Yeah, well, we all kind of caught on since then. All right, my friend. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, man. See ya.
Peace.
Peace.
Here's John in Tampa. Has some updates for us. What's up, John?
Hey, guys. Hey, Bennington.
Hey.
You were talking about Warren Buffett.
Oh,
being
yeah.
the face of Cherry Coke.
Only in China, not here, unfortunately.
I wish.
Yeah. So Berkshire Hathaway has been a huge stockholder in Coca-Cola for a really, really long time.
Yes, they own like 9% of the company, but it has nothing to do with putting Warren's face on a can.
Oh, I mean, I get that they're connected.
Yeah,
but it's weird to put him as
feeding on themselves now. I mean, it's pretty ingenious. They probably did it for a song. So
yeah, but I think that they should do it in this country if we're going to do it. It would be much funnier here than anywhere else. And they said that Warren Buffett he drinks like 5-6 cans of Coke a day.
Does he really?
Yes, he just loves Coke. He's just drinking it all day long.
Well, that was like, what was the weird thing that's like Johnny Rotten was like the spokesperson for butter for a while in the UK, and he
Never
was
heard
doing
this.
just like all these like butter commercials, and it was like a very bizarre thing. Like that's always like, it's just like pro butter. Like, is that specific to a company? It's just like, guys, you need to be buying more butter.
Well, we have, we do that in this country where we drink milk. And,
Right.
By the way, I saw Johnny Rotten came out in favor of Trump the other day.
Really?
Brexit and Trump, the two things that he's a big backer of.
Gosh. I can't believe that.
Why? They were always right wing. The punk scene was always right wing in England.
Yeah, there were ties to certainly Nazi
White nationalism.
Yeah. That's very true. What do you think is the weirdest spokesperson for a product?
I always thought George Clooney's shilling for the coffee company was fucking bullshit because he's not drinking that coffee.
How do you know?
I'm pretty sure George Clooney has some other sort of coffee he's drinking.
You have nothing to go by. You don't know what anybody's taste is for. You know what I mean? He might drink that coffee.
That is like a weird thing that did happen in this country. Like there was like, I don't know what was the beginning of that, but I remember, when I was younger and people were like looking up Japanese commercials where our American celebrities were doing commercials, and it seemed so weird. It was so strange to see like Brad Pitt selling jeans in Japan. And now it's totally the standard here. But I don't know what that thing was. Like, when did it become normal? Like,
to what, do commercials?
Yeah, like there was a while where that was more frowned upon as kind of a...
Well, it used to even be frowned upon to do TV.
Yeah.
Of any kind. But if you look at the Cola Wars of the 80s, they used to get every single rock star would either be hired by Coke or Pepsi.
Right. But there was like a thing that happened where it just seemed like every big celebrity was
Hip-hop.
like a voice.
Hip-hop was the first thing of, no, we're not embarrassed to sell out. We want to sell out.
Right. Well, and then like sports stars obviously could always do commercials.
Sure.
But it was like, it was strange when actors made that shift.
Well, to me, more than that, it's the fact that you don't hear any voiceover that isn't a famous person.
Yeah.
It's all famous voiceover people now. And you'll hear Clooney or Julia Roberts doing car stuff all the time.
And you're very good at picking up on it.
Thank
like I've
you.
noticed this as that you're like, you know who that is? The kid from the Wonder Years.
Yeah. I just have an ear for people's voices.
You have like a human's version of perfect pitch. Like you just like pick up on someone's voice.
Well, aren't the musicians also humans?
Yeah, but I mean like not notes is what I meant to say. You're not picking up notes. You're picking up people.
I remember Schwarzenegger had a totally insane commercial in Japan where I think he was shilling candy, and now he's on every commercial for that video game.
Yeah, the
Total War.
Schwarzenegger one was like in early internet days. That was one that was being passed around all the time because he was supposed to be like a genie or something, and he was like spinning people up in the air. And everyone was like, "Oh my god, can you imagine?" They thought, "Oh, thanks to the internet, now we know their secret truth."
Terry, what's
Hey,
up?
guys.
Hey.
I wanted to say that, after Lost in Translation, I feel like that's when the domestic endorsements started getting popular. Once that movie had some popularity, we had Bill Murray over there in Japan endorsing all that crazy shit. All of a sudden in America, you start to see all those endorsements.
Well, no, the difference was that we didn't see them until we had the internet. It was always going on.
Yes.
But you didn't know. And that's why Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone would have no problem going over and doing something because it didn't screw around with the way Americans seen them. But as soon as you had the internet, you saw these things and were like, Woody Allen is selling fucking breath mints, and that's because he was getting like $1 million to do it.
Yeah, and now you would have like the amount of people they get for just like those Snickers commercials. That actually seems like we have turned Japanese. Like that is normal now.
We will be at Moon Tower. And it should be a lot of fun. And we just announced that we've got a cool unmask we're doing.
That's going to be Friday, April 21st at 6 p.m. at the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas. It's part of the Moon Tower Festival. It's unmasked with Sal Vulcano. Do not wait. Go to the interrobang.com for a chance at free tickets.
Yeah, these tickets are going to go fast. And then we'll be announcing one more unmasked in Austin. And again, if you have the badge, you can get into the unmasked. But this is a place for fans of ours or fans of Sal's that may not be going to everything to get their name on the list. So go to the iBang, and if you have friends in that area that are big fans of Sal's, this is going to be a really, really fun show. Anything we need to promote before we get out of here, Christopher?
I think we're good. Oh, the Paul Schaefer Unmasked is playing this Friday at 2:00, and we're giving out a super tweet. The winner will get a signed Unmasked poster signed by Paul Schaefer.
Yep, we're giving out a super tweet. The signed Unmasked poster by Paul Schaefer. And this is a really fun Unmasked, though. It's just great hearing these stories with Paul. How could you not love Paul Schaefer?
Yeah, that was like a real starstruck moment growing up with with that show always on. It was a really fantastic Unmasked. And so,
Well, first of all, you make it seem like I was watching 24 hours a day.
You were sick. I mean, I was actually concerned. At one point, I said to my mom, "Is Dad okay? Does he have any
Can
other
I tell you what? I
interests?"
put food on the table, okay? You kids ate.
But there's other things on TV, Dad.
Not in this house. By the way, Paul Schaefer from one of my favorite towns in the world, Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Which I actually thought was was a Florida thing. Because I thought that Thunder Bay was Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's a nickname, but this is an actual
But
name.
they have the actual real life Thunder Bay.
Mm-hmm. I'm on my way to Thunder Bay. I think Stranger put it best.
And coming up next on Raw Dog, the Check Spot, hosted by Emma Willman.
Love Emma.
Nice.
With guests Carmen Lynch and Dan Lamorte.
Very cool.
Great show. All right, that's it for us. We'll see you guys again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!